Kanpai!
Kanpai!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 14 of Kanpai Cast. Today, we'll be reviewing the autumn 2021 season, halfway through at episode 6 for most things.
Yep.
We've got plenty to get through. We got 18 shows to actually get through, but first, before we get into that, I should welcome my distinguished gentle guests, my compatriots, my Xenogelion and MDRLOz. How are you gentlemen doing this week?
I think we hit the nameplates at the same time. I don't know if that's going to fuck up.
Oh, I hope not.
It's fine.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Loz, are you good?
I am wearing a big jacket.
Yeah. Damn, that
He's
model
here to keep
looks
us from
just
getting
so
too
good.
hot.
Yeah.
Oh, if I get too
Yeah.
hot, I can take the model off, I think. How do I take the coat off? I think I can take the coat off. Yeah, let's
Take it off! Take it off!
Casual.
And then,
there we go.
Oh!
damn!
Oh!
If I really get bored,
Damn.
I can just...
Bit of a beefcake.
Loz got ripped.
Dumbbells.
Yeah!
Well,
No wonder he's such a beefcake. I'm impressed, man.
Yep, good job, Loz.
Yep.
Yeah. only if they made the actual remotes way heavier.
Some of that haptic feedback that they talk about. Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Right. Well, before we get into the episode, let's do a little housekeeping, little cleaning of our schoolroom. We now have music in the background, as you might have noticed. It is provided by the magnanimous and wonderful Joey Zero. Go check him out. He's got a lot of music you can actually download and use.
With
as
permission.
Creative
I'm
guy.
going to point out the permission
Yes, with
part.
permission. Definitely ask him first, but yeah, he's getting a lot of good music. So we are encoding this into the main audio track as you hear it on your end, but we can take it out and re-upload the episode without that if need be, if you don't like it. But it seemed like a really nice idea to just have something in the background for those moments when there's like a bit of silence, or just in general. It's kind of nice to hear things.
Mm-hmm.
And the other
Though,
one,
like how you
if you have any feedback on it,
I completely missed your
please
joke. I'm
write in
sorry.
the description below.
Let us know if you'd rather hear us complaining
We would like
without the music in the
Like-
background.
to hear.
I mean, of course, totally serious reviews that we totally 100% serious on all the time.
Yeah.
The other thing is we put out a poll on Twitter, just a nice little way to interact with you guys. It's just asking, since we're doing a review of Autumn 2021, we thought, what are you enjoying this season? We took the top 4 episodes, put them on the poll based on how AniChart has it listed out. And so far, currently, I should actually tell you the shows. It was Ranking of Kings, Komi Can't Communicate, My Senpai is Annoying, and Takt op.Destiny, which I've honestly never even heard of. But so far, Komi Can't Communicate is winning. I wonder if that's because it's one that a lot of people have heard of, like me. I've not even heard of Takt Op. I haven't heard of My Senpai is Annoying either, I don't think. And I've never watched any of them except Komi, so that was my pick. But go vote on it if you want. It's really fun. I'd love to see some of the other ones pull ahead as of airing of this episode. I think that's about it. You guys have anything to add?
Last part! Read the last sentence!
The last sentence? Oh no! We'll like to do this before each episode if we remember. Yes, that's a very good point. We should, if you're not following Kanpai Cast on Twitter, go do that now. Putting out stuff, trying to put out a tweet or two every day.
Yeah.
Something to interact with you guys.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Cool. So I think it's about time we get on with this. But I wanna ask you guys a quick question before we start. Do you guys feel at all that shows are taking too long to get into the nitty-gritty of things? Like, shows are taking too long to still be introducing characters over the halfway mark?
I wouldn't say that's the case for every episode or every show, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Because even the ones I like are still kind of introducing people.
Okay, I'll I'll point out the ones that I'm talking about later. But yeah, it was just
before you get on. So if we've got a standard 12 episode sequence, when do you think all the characters, the main characters, should be introduced by? Episode 3, 4?
I'm thinking 4. I think by 4.
Third? Yeah.
Yeah, by 4, all the main characters should have been introduced. All the characters that you have to like get in the headspace for. But there's like a good at least 3 shows this season where that's just not the case, and we're halfway through and they're still introducing characters.
So
what if it's
episodes,
intending?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So you go, Nasa. No, you go.
Okay, so let's say it's 12 episodes, and you're looking at it as a 3-act structure. Then your first act is introducing the characters. Your second act is the rising action, and the third act is the resolution and denouement. So, yes, episode 4 or 5, I would say, is probably about the latest you should be introducing characters.
But what
For
if
a
it's
12.
intended to be more than a 12 episode arc? Maybe what if it's 24 or even longer?
I think the problem then is you've got a hard sell on a show that, like, you know, this is a 24 episode series. We've split it into, much like, what's the name of the Jobless Reincarnation or 86. We've split it into, so there's going to be like 2 seasons in between where there's nothing. It's going to be a real hard sell for people to be invested in the second season if the first 2/3 of the first part are just introducing characters, because there's going to be no room for a resolution in any capacity.
But I think I've got a perfect example to discuss with you later on that then. So yeah,
Cool.
I want to say there's also some older anime that had 24 episodes per season, and you would end up with a lot of filler in those, like a lot of filler.
Okay.
So there's that to consider too.
Okay. Interesting. Right. Should we get on with it?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm down.
You're down to
Desperate
clown?
to get into this.
Cool. Right. So who's going to start? Naz's show. Naz's start.
we need some sort of cool randomizer for the future. With like an on-screen graphic where it spins and then picks one of us. Wouldn't that be cool?
You're going to make me build one of these things.
I'm gonna make him build one.
Oh, damn it.
That's what I do.
Yes, I'll take Sakugan. Let's get that one out of the way.
Okay, then. I already hit it.
I know you already hit it. I'll be here too. Just later. So, Sakugan, I know you have some feelings about Sakugan, but I'm still enjoying it. I wrote a little list of pros and cons. I gave all the shows I watched a rating on their intro song. Sakugan is still the best. It gets a 10 out of Big Tony. Yeah. I do really like the way that they're slowly introducing us to more and more of the world. There's some really good humorous moments, like the timing that they have really good comedic timing for the most part. Gagumber is a layabout, and Memempu is the responsible one, which should be a good dynamic, but we'll get into that. It's a tiny little detail that I noticed in just the last episode, but everyone, well, just about everyone, like 90%, have like some form of reflective tape or dots or something on their clothing, which, given the conditions they live in, where they're underground and they're doing all this heavy construction work, it's a little touch, but it's nice. But Memempu is just Memempu. I cannot stand her.
So for anyone who's see, this is a show I really like the look of, and will watch the whole thing of it, especially because mechs. But I haven't watched it yet. I will get into it. Who is Memempu for us? Is this one of our main characters?
So Gagumber is the dad in the relationship. He's a former marker. He gave up that life for reasons that we don't actually fully know yet. We kind of found out a little bit about that in the last episode, but not too. They're like just tossing us tiny little hints, which kind of fits into Xeno's thing about them going a little too slow. Yes, Xeno, yes. I see your hand raised.
Before you go too far, do they ever truly explain what a marker is?
I think markers are just so there are workers who work inside the domes or the habitats, and then there are markers who go out into the labyrinth, and they're the ones that like look for treasure or fight the kaiju or anything that's not really involved in working to build up the city and keep the city going.
Right, okay, fair enough then. It was just like, I always felt that when we watched like the first few episodes of the show, it was just like, you gonna explain this job role at all? I mean...
No, I think that's about as deep as they got into it. But yes, so Loz, Gagambar is the father, and Memempu is the blonde girl here, who is a absolute wunderkind. She's like 9 years old and has 5 doctorates. It's like, it's insane.
God.
She's I would love her if she wasn't quite either she wasn't quite so mouthy about how smart she is, or times where her thinking that she's smart gets her into trouble. She actually learned from those in some or acknowledged them in some way. But it's sort of like Jahi, where every time it's the same joke. Oh my god, like, I have to get my crystals back and rule the underworld, and then somebody does something nice for her and she breaks down into tears. It's that sort of thing, but it's, my Mempu is so smart, and then she gets into trouble, and then she doesn't learn. Like, there's like a brief moment where she's like, oh, Gagambar saved me, and then she just goes back to being Mempu.
But instead of even within one episode having some character progression, some arc, we're just constantly whacking the reset button on her, is what you're saying.
Very, very much so.
For the most part, yeah. But it's mostly just her that's happening to. Like, even in the first episode where, at this point it's not really a spoiler anymore, we're at episode 6. In the first episode where her best friend, who is also a marker, like, unceremoniously dies. Like, she's just, we're gonna go out and do this, we're gonna fight this kaiju, and then just, bam, dead. It doesn't even really, like, even then, they go and put something at her grave, and she's like, I'm gonna be a marker in your name, but it doesn't really teach her to be careful or anything, you know?
You see, you say that she's the only one. I really have to fight you on this, because the father is just as infuriating, because he has proven he is a washed out Bruce Wayne, right? He's Bruce Wayne, Batman. I used
more
to
Bruce
be Batman.
Willis, but okay.
Well, fine, Bruce Willis. It doesn't matter. Like, you know, I used to be Bruce Willis, die hard, clawing through air vents, same shit happening in the same day, whatever. Like, but he's resigned that charisma. He's resigned that, you know, lifestyle to be a suitable father for his daughter, except for he's a steaming piece of shit to his daughter the entire time. He's a lech who's constantly coming on to various different women whenever he can. And the second shit gets real, let me get my a tank top on and, you know, take my shoes off, crawl through some air vents. The second shit calms down, he's like, hand me another beer.
Well, it's because he actively doesn't want to live that life. He wants to be a layabout.
Yeah, well then he shouldn't have fucking agreed to let his damn daughter drag them out into the fucking boonies, should he?
But see, that feeds into the character of him being a worthless layabout who can't do anything. The only thing he thinks he can do right is come with her.
Yeah, but then surely he should have grown up. That's my point, right? If he either grows up to agree to go with her, or he continues to be a sack of shit and either holds her back to not go, or just doesn't go with her. You can't have it both ways. You can't have character development and then just like, oh, no, we've gone too far. Quick, reverse, back it up. Yep, okay, we're back to where we were.
But it does inform, like, every time he gets serious, it's when she's in trouble. So it has informed his character to some extent.
Sorry, I have to quickly mute my phone because I'm getting inundated with messages.
Oh, I actually didn't hear it, but it's fine. So as for plot, they've made it to 2 different cities now. Yes, they made it to Jolly, where they fixed a giant computer and met up with a thief who was in trouble with the mafia. And then they made it to
Is this in
Arayar.
episode 6?
Episode 6, yeah. They made it to Arayar, the colony of equality. And some of those things actually come back into play. Zakledu shows up again. That's the thief woman. I actually quite enjoyed episode 6 because it didn't have much Memempu in it. Neither did episode 4, really. I mean, it had a little bit of her, but it was mostly about Gakumber and Zakletu. But episode 6 was... Gosh. I still enjoy it. I thought episode 6 was pretty good because, again, not much Memempu. We got to see how the equality wasn't really equality. We got to learn a little tiny bit more about Gakumber's past and why he potentially gave up being a marker.
Tell you what, right? If you keep watching this, and I'm not saying you have to, but if you keep watching this and at the end of it you tell me I need to watch it, I'll watch it, right? Mm-hmm. But I cannot take any more of this weekly bullshit.
That's understandable. Yeah. I really like. I get the character dynamic is hard to enjoy. I only have problem with really half of it, but even that half might be enough for a lot of people to go, nope, I'm out, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I guess because the only ones I really like are the ones that aren't Memempu heavy. It's just, but there is definitely something deep in there. They have put a lot of thought into the world itself. I think it's just the character development that might be a little lacking.
Well, the world setting's good. They're getting interesting stuff that they're doing, and the world is expanding over what they're doing. The problem is just the characters are not just constantly hitting reset buttons. Yeah, the plot's taking a little bit. I think second half of the season is going to be a lot more plot heavy because now it's not just him and Memempu. He's gotten a little crew together that are following him. So I think we finally got all our. But then that again plays into Xeno's thing. We only just now have all of our main crew in episode 6. That seems to be a recurring theme. I think that's why Xeno brought it up at the start. Yeah. What about the animation? How's the animation still holding? The animation's still pretty good, I think.
I think the CG a little bit weak, right? Like the kaiju look more robotic than the actual mechs.
Yeah.
But the rest of it's solid. Because
they're all like gray. They're all just one solid color.
Yeah, they're that. They're just bloody that. Like, they're the Putty Men from Power Rangers.
We've only seen a few of them. We've seen a couple in the first colony, and then a couple outside of Jolly.
Yeah,
I think. But maybe there are some more interesting ones. Maybe they're all just gray monsters. At least they're better than the ones in Deep Insanity. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Just about anything's better than the ones in Deep Insanity.
All right, I think we should move on. Loz, first one.
I'll take the assassin one.
Assassin.
I never remember its name. Assassin gets reincarnated. There we
assassin
go.
Face.
World's finest assassin gets reincarnated into a different world as an aristocrat.
So I remember watching, and I can't remember, sadly, the YouTube video I was watching on it, some random person's review, and they're saying that this is going to be a slow isekai, and it is kind of slow, and I do appreciate that. That's why it does the whole first episode. We get the bit with as you can see, the assassin guy in his original life before we go into the whole isekai thing. In fact, we even get a prelude in the first episode. We get like.
I
think he's having internet issues. Should we pause it?
And then it's a mess.
Hold on.
Right, sorry, yes, now back now. So we've now finished episode 6, and we've spent the last it's even probably the last 3 episodes or 4 episodes just setting up the 3 girls who will be part of his assassin team. In fact, episode 6 literally introduced and gave her a backstory and got her into his team within one episode. It did feel a bit rushed, and there wasn't a lot of him in that episode. But I can see that. I think this is clearly going to have more than, or is intended to be more than one season, because he's still like 12 years old-ish or 14 years old. He has to kill the hero. He's got to kill the hero, the isekai hero, somewhere between his age of 16 and 18. He's got to kill him by 18 because that's when the isekai hero will use his powers to destroy the world or something. But he's got to do it by after 16 because that's when the isekai hero will kill the demon lord. It is standard isekai fare. And it is going a bit slow. We're now halfway through the season. We've finally got him with all the characters, so that he's at least met all the 3 girls that are going to be part of his assassin team. But he has not really even broached the thing of, shall I go find the hero? Shall I go understand it or anything? And he's now, God, what is he doing? He's fully trained up as assassin to the point he can now beat his assassin dad, who's like the best assassin ever. And his dad's like, right, now, yeah, it's a family of assassins, because he is the best assassin. Reborn an aristocratic family of assassins who do poses naked to assess your body strength or your.
Okay.
It's fine. No worry. It's done quite. It makes sense. Mm-hmm. Dad takes him down to his little hidden assassin room and he goes like strip, and he strips and he has to it's like Kato 1 and he has to form like poses and then his dad rubs. It's sounding so wrong, but it's getting worse. It's like to see his growth. It's fun, and then he does the same thing to one of his girls. Yeah. Anyway, but his dad, his super assassin dad, like the best assassin dad ever.
Yeah.
He had an occupation so that he could travel and make sense while doing his assassinating. So it makes sense. He's going all over, and his was a doctor. And he said to his sons, you shall be a merchant. So he's literally like, I will now spend 2 years learning to be a merchant. And I'm like, what? Why? What? We're going to do that now? Oh, yeah, we're going to do that now. So that's where we're at the end of this 6 episodes.
Why? Pause. What? Why? Why do you always end up with these shows where the main character is in an isekai doing one thing and suddenly they want to become a merchant?
They're just gonna be merchants. I don't know why. That's my jam. Isekais when people want to be merchants.
I wanna ask you. Are you trying to tell me that they spent 6 episodes training him to be a merchant?
No. They spent 6 episodes or 5 episodes really, right? 5 episodes training him up to be aristocrat assassin boy.
Okay. There's only one episode.
At the end of the episode
5,
he's like, right, I will now go off for 2 years to live somewhere else under a false name to gain to create his false identity as a merchant so that he can travel and be like, oh, he's just merchant man. That's why he's in the city. And then he can go assassinate people while he's in the city as merchant man. His false identity, basically. And that was the end of episode 5. Episode 6, though, was a bit of a different thing because we followed a girl through her life up until the point that basically she meets him and he saves her, and that's the 3rd girl for his super team of assassin girls.
Okay.
I'm selling a bit off, but I am enjoying it though. Yeah,
okay. Well, if you say at the end of this season,
that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to see where this gets by the end of episode 12. I'm expecting probably either next season or the season after this will have its next 12 episodes, and I don't know how long that will be in the manga or whatever, but I bet you there's no way we're gonna sort out the hero and everything within the next 6 episodes. That would just all of a sudden be go from slow to super speed for no reason. And so I fully expect, so I'll let you know where we're at the end of this season, and then it's going to be based on that. I would say it's probably better the interesting stuff is probably going to be in the 2nd season, so it's probably not best to watch this while it's coming out. Wait till the 2nd season's airing, then you can just blitz all 12 episodes and go right, now I'm up to speed. And then the 2nd season is oh wow, now we're doing all the cool assassinating and things.
But what if they don't make a 2nd season because no one watched season 1?
Well, it's doing okay, but
then you're stuffed.
Exactly. Then it's stuffed.
This is the sort of stuff that happens. And I really want there to be a no game, no life season you.
None.
But at least that did a good job of ending season 1 at no, it didn't. There was so much more to do, wasn't there?
I did hear on a random tangent about No Game No Life. They're supposed to be redoing the manga from scratch.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's to see if there's like any interest in it, but like, yes, just give me I don't know if this is to do any weird censorship crap, or whether or not, yeah. So like,
would you say this
who knows?
is like your average isekai, or do you think it's like something actually unique and interesting for the genre?
Better yet. Let's like, what would you say on a scale? Like, where would you compare? So, right, what's the best isekai you've ever watched?
Shield Hero.
Shield Hero. What's the worst isekai you've ever watched?
Overlord.
Give him time to think.
No, not worse. I didn't say.
To be fair, I haven't seen that many isekais.
The one I would say was actually really worse is the one where the guy is a game developer and he spawns in with 3 meteor spells.
Oh god, yeah, I watched like one episode or half an episode of that. Yeah, I know.
It doesn't go anywhere. It's just I'm just in a harem show for no reason, but not really gonna do anything. It's like, oh yeah, this is only getting 1 season. That was the worst one because it just didn't go anywhere. He didn't have any plan. He wasn't sent there for a reason. It was just stupid. He didn't seem to want to do anything, and then all he did was just kind of be aimless the whole time.
So, which end of the spectrum would you say this is
if Shield Hero's a 10 and that's like a 0, and even then I wouldn't really call it a 0 because it did have some merits, but I mean this is the moment like a 6 or a 7. As what was Nasuth's question?
Is it average or is it accepted? Like, does it have something in it that makes it exceptional?
No, yeah. So the thing is, the premise is pretty interesting that we have. He is ruthless. Even as a kid, this guy is like he saves a girl, and then you see like, oh, he's being really nice to her. Oh, she was lost and hungry in the woods. He's giving her some soup, and and then you actually hear. Then it rewinds, and you see his point of view, and like even the way he was talking to her was like tricking her into making the decisions so that she would not think in the future that he tricked her. It's like, oh, you're just heartless. You're just heartless bastard.
Okay.
You know, so the premise is good. It just hasn't had any chance to go anywhere yet. I want to see this guy in cool situations. I want to see him doing stuff. At the moment, though, he's just been having his training wheels still on. That's the problem. So, yeah, I think it's got potential. All right, move on.
Right, I'm going to move on to my one, which is going to be Faraway Paladin first.
Aha, more isekai.
Yeah. So it's general theme.
I do want to watch this one.
In all honesty, I struggled with this show. Largely because the first 3 episodes, like, just...
I do remember when we did the 3-episode review, you are really not happy with this show.
Yeah.
You were very much not happy with it.
And it didn't really start picking up until the end of the 4th episode. Like, I'm surprised I kept on going. But the thing is, they put in so much depth into the world. There was so much mystery to what's going on. They didn't really focus too heavily on the fact that this guy's been isekai. That you don't even see the guy. He's just like, I am now baby, you know, whatever. But it's a very interesting world setup and everything. But it was dragging its feet massively.
Oh yeah, that's the one where he's raised by the monsters, isn't he?
Yeah.
So 3
monsters.
monsters.
Yeah, it sounded like such an interesting concept.
The 4th episode really picks up in introducing more of the meta-sphere of the world. You know how, like, in Dungeons and Dragons, there are deities that, like, classes like paladins or necromancers worship in order to get their power, kind of thing. It's the same deal. And the deities in this one have a lot more of a hands-on influence, which is really good, in my opinion. Because, you know, it works. It works really, really well. Touche, good sir. The 5th episode kind of resolves effectively the first arc of the series, and the series really doesn't kick off until the 6th episode. We've only just had the first friend in the intros being introduced into the show, and it's like, yeah, again, this was one of the shows of, are we taking too long to start a show anymore? Like, what happened to the 3-episode rule? And there are so many more characters in the intro that we have yet to see. We've only seen one of them now. I was like, what the fuck was the point of that intro? Seriously. Where else am I going to say this? The animation style in this is actually really good. I was actually really impressed with how much effort's gone into the animation. Even the combat in this is well done and well portrayed. I thought maybe they were going to skimp out on that, but they haven't. What else? I do feel from time to time that the plot gets a little confusing because they're a little heavy on proper nouns, like names being thrown around all over the place. And it's like, I'd kind of like it if there was a bit of a dub so I could follow this a bit easier. But yeah, so I think that, that in all honesty, it's the 6th episode that has actually intrigued me enough to keep watching. Had the 6th episode been, and now I'm wandering around a forest and I have achieved nothing, I'd have given up. I honestly would have given up. It was a very do or die situation, and it did. So, yep.
So, are you going to continue watching this up to 12?
I am. No. I'm not going to promise to 12, right?
Right. But for now, you're continuing at the moment.
I'm continuing it for now, right? It's earned itself a reprieve, but it really depends on the rest of the series. And I'm not sure if this one's getting a 2-parter, but I really think shows should not rely on a 2-parter to, justify why the start is slow.
But.
See, the thing is, you could start the show, whereas like the first half of the first episode is him later in life, right? The first half, and then the second half is the start of his life. Then you could go again, second episode, where it's another part in his life for the first half. Second half, again, back to when he was a kid. And then from the third episode, continue to be the kid becoming the adult, right? But because there's no teasing of what he's going to be doing with his fucking life, it just feels like a grind.
Yeah, I don't mind a little bit of that sort of thing, but I wouldn't know about a whole episode or something. I'm thinking back to, I think the original Berserk, you did see Guts, like, fighting the demons, after all the stuff of the events of the show you're about to watch. The original Berserk show, not the newer one. And then it goes back and tells you how he got to that point, when he's, it just shows, I think it starts with him just doing generic stuff. You see him with his, like, claw hand, and he's just butchering stuff. He's got the mark on his neck. And that obviously happens within the set of the show. So that's his general stage, just going around killing demons at this point. And you see how he reached this demon-slaying person. I do find that's okay, but at the same time, I'm going to go against that when we talk about Takt OP, because I don't think it was done well in Takt OP.
Well,
but that's not this show.
That's the thing. It's the Tarantino syndrome. If you're going to tell a story out of order, then you've got to do a really good job of it, even if it's just a little bit out of order.
So, but is it the thing with this? Looking at the premise, is that do we know why these monsters are raising him yet?
Yes. I had to think back and actually remember. You do find out why.
So you could show, let's say, the character, this boy, let's say 10 years from now, doing whatever it's going to do, and then go back. It wouldn't be they're not trying to keep it as a secret that he's got some sort of grand thing.
No. They do keep it a secret, right, up until the end of episode 3 when they reveal it.
Yeah.
And then episode 4 happens, which is and itself a reprieve. Then
but if we move all the episodes along by one and then put in a new episode 1 or an episode 0, let's say, where you see him as an adult doing whatever it is they intend him to do, would that then ruin that change at the end of episode 3?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I really don't think so.
Okay, cool.
I don't think it would have ruined any of it. Yeah. Cool. Well, at least so far. But yeah, that's Takt OP. That's Takt OP. No, that's Faraway Paladin. Also, sorry, it's the 6th episode. No one is yet to call him a paladin. They call him warrior priest.
All right.
Let's move on. Nasuth, your next one.
Can't tell which one of these. It's this one. I can't tell which one of these is deep insanity because the show is so bland. The characters just kind of blend in with everything else.
That is how I remember you telling it to us before.
Yeah, it's basically the same. So they've had. I can only think of one interesting thing in this show, and it was in episode 3 or 4, one of the two. They end up taking a side job outside of their normal dreamer work, and is it 3? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And they go down illegally into the labyrinth to retrieve like some drug essentially, and they run in, or we learn that there are people that just live down there, that they're called exiles, and for whatever reason they're not, either because they don't want to fit in or because they've been kicked out essentially, they don't live in normal society, they live in the labyrinth, and for some reason they don't succumb to Randolph syndrome and go crazy. But that's one thing we've seen. Maybe a little bit of other world building, but it's so slow and sparse and in between that they're not really giving me enough to keep me invested. The monsters, for the most part, still look like CGI poop. It's just awful. There is an evil group, but they just seem to kind of be Shinra Corp from FF7. That's basically all they seem. They want to exploit the labyrinth for their own devices. Yeah. And in episode 5, which was the last one that aired as of this recording, they started speculating on if our main character was a virgin or not, and trying to get him hooked up with one of the other characters. And I'm like, that's
God.
it. That's it. Episode 5 is essentially just a episode where they go and plan a barbecue and try to get these two characters hooked up. And these two right now, right here on the screen, and I just can't stand it. I'm done. I'm out. I'm not finishing this one. I'm not giving it to 6 episodes because you're
out. Okay, cool.
It's clearly. I will say that the opening song is pretty kicking. I'd give it probably a 7 or 8 out of Final Fantasy. That's about it. Not the only good thing it has going for it. The animation's alright, I suppose, outside of the CGI monster poop. It's alright.
Like, in all I gave up on this. I think I gave up on it on after episode 3. The problem is I got no draw. Like, I've got no enthusiasm to go watch anymore. I'm just like, what is this monotony? Like, none of the characters.
Slow. They don't give you enough of the world. They don't give you enough of the characters.
Yeah. That's it in a nutshell. It's like, fucking why? There's no motivation behind it. And I think the problem is that this is a game-based anime. Like, it's inspired from. So the main protagonist is Blandy McBlandface. Mm-hmm. And the opportunity to explore the other characters, they just don't do it.
Oh yeah, the one bit of characterization we really got in episode 5 with our two little lovebirds is that one of them, our hero, is a otaku, and the girl with the robotic leg likes to draw doujinshi. That's why they should be in love. That's why they should be in love. That's all you need to know about them, really. God. Oh, and this guy, their EXO, is apparently like non-binary or whatever. I don't fucking. That's his character.
The middle guy.
That's his yeah. That's his character. Is that he's non-binary.
That's it.
So enjoy that.
Wait, can you tell me anything more about his character apart from that?
Nope.
Please don't get poisoned in Japan.
In all honesty, if this is set up to have a 2-parter, I'd be impressed if it gets the second part.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if the game's any good. It's a Squeenix game, so who knows?
Oh, look! CGI poop.
Poop.
Right, should we move on to Loz's next one?
Please. Get us away from this one.
We're going to pick.
Let's go Takt. Speaking of games.
This is a game?
I think my understanding, I might be wrong. Isn't this the one that's set up to be a mobile game? This is going to be a mobile game?
I don't know. Okay.
I swear it was this one.
You keep
Maybe
talking
it is.
about I'll go look.
No, Nasuth's going to look it up. Okay, so we haven't. I don't think we had this one on before. Did we have this one on before?
No, we didn't.
Okay, so we didn't give this one a 3-episode one. I don't think any of us were working on it. Oh no, you can go back, Nasuth. I saw it. Go back. So, Takt OP is an upcoming... Scroll up. No, it's up top there. Is an upcoming multimedia project by Bandai Namco, and the project currently includes an anime series and a game, both to be released in 2021. The music became power that dwelt within young girls. Great composition, legendary operas created by a bygone era. Yeah, these scores breathe life into new beings called music arts.
Didn't you say in, like, the 3 episode that several of these shows were about music and the power of music?
Yep. There's another one. I need to go and watch it. Yeah, fighting aliens with music. So this show, I think, is intended to be a gacha app game at some point. I think that's what it's supposed to be. The setting is a world in which a asteroid has fallen down from space, and it's a new type of mineral that also has a new adversary has come from it, or seems to use it in some way. This rock of this asteroid.
Wasn't there two?
I don't think so.
I thought there was one that fell down that reacted positively to music.
No.
Okay.
They, at the time of this asteroid coming down, they discovered a ore on Earth, or they were aware of this new thing, and that's why they were. That's why all. Let me get back to it. So, asteroid falls down from space. New enemy appears called the D2, which hates music. It's a bit more than that. They hate music, but they basically respond to sound. So that's why they will just also randomly kill humans. But music, obviously, is a something which goes on for a long time and has a lot of harmonic vibrations. So I assume that's like how they could detect a place because of music, and then they'll attack people because of music. Apparently, even though things like nuclear reactors, hydro power plants and things, they don't have deep rumbling sounds that don't travel massive distances. No, music.
I sure hope
so at the same
never
time
goes off, because that creates a lot of sound too.
What goes off?
Earthquake.
Well, yes, but that's not but that wouldn't be a constant sound that you would follow back to something you could smash.
Ah, okay.
Is what I mean. Yeah, that's why I'm
Gotcha.
not really liking the show, and I'll explain why. Because the setting, it's very convoluted. So anyway, so these D2 appear, and all of our modern weapons obviously are useless because Japan and enemies. That's how they do enemies. Just like guns don't work on them, even though they summon musical magic guns. Right. So all of our guns and tanks, whatever, apparently do work against this enemy. And all of a sudden, though, we have created a new weapon. It's of musical people called music arts. They're almost like robotic people in their personality, and they have magical superpowers. They're able to attack and destroy the D2. That's the setting, and obviously, and they're made from, at the time we were researching or had discovered, this harmonic ore or something, and that's what the music arts are made from. So it's like the opposite of the one from the asteroid that landed. So we don't. That's all. I'm pretty sure that I've only watched it a few days ago, so I caught up on it. I think that's pretty much our backstory. That's the setting we're in. Now, this show then has as we've been talking earlier, the first, I think, episode or 2 is done further on in the plot line, and then we go back to see how characters became in that scenario. So we've got 3 characters, which are main cast, you can see there. We've got the boy in the back with the black hair. He is a pianist, plays the piano with his fingers, and he loves playing the piano. Oh, sorry, no, I did forget one thing, from the world setting. Because the vibrations are what attract the D2, music becomes banned in the world. That's an important point. So anyway, he loves music and playing the piano, though there aren't that many pianos to play. We've got the other character, who's the white-ish haired character, this girl here, who becomes his music art. So his musical weapon summoning girl who fights the D2. And then we have the sister of this girl, who is the redhead who's always driving the car. And yeah, so those are our main characters. What do I not like about this show? So, I don't like the way, first of all, the way the episodes are set. So the first 2 episodes, you see it head of case, and then we're going to go back, because when they do the bit when you go back, I don't think it did a very good job of going, oh, by the way, going back in time now. So I'm like, wait, what's going on now? we're in the past now. Okay, but then it also doesn't go far enough back in time in the past. It doesn't go like back to when the asteroid lands and the aliens first appear. It goes to a point. Oh god! So it goes to the point of after like the first war with the D2, and they sort of have gone, they seem to have gone. What is the word? Dormant, yes, dormant, right? But that's not said, it just is. And then, so music is sort of like, oh, why can't we play music? And then all of a sudden, though, we're in this situation that's like partway along this mad timeline. And there is a musical event going on in the town with the only traveling, I think called the Symphonica. They're the only people who are allowed to play music. When they come to the town, that's the only way you can have music. And so that event's going on. And then during that event, they convince Piano Boy to play the piano to the public, and it's like, oh, it's amazing. But then white-haired girl sacrifices herself to save the boy, but then she becomes a music art. And when she becomes a music art, her personality is overwritten by robotic killing machine. And for some reason, never explained. This is okay. Let me get into the list of things that just never get noticed or explained in the show. Right, first one. For him, when his music art becomes a music art, first of all, his is the only one that becomes a music art. All the others are just in their state normally. He loses his arm, which isn't explained, and he seems to get corrupt. Oh no, they do explain that. Doesn't explain why he loses his arm, and then he gets it back again. He doesn't seem to care either, because like, where's my arm go all the time? No. When she goes into power mode, he loses his arm for no reason, and then he gets a little like conductor baton, which I don't even know what he does with it. Or maybe he communicates to her with it or something. It's like not really.
What do you mean you don't know?
It's not really explained what exactly it does.
Yes, it does. Yes, it is.
No, because she can fight without amusing it.
How many episodes have you?
I've seen all of them. It's not explained what it does because she can go off and fight without him holding it.
Yeah, but it's the whole point of him doing that is to help better guide her.
Oh, yes, they become into sync. What rubbish! She can fight them and shoot the blast without it.
You know,
it's not like he gets a hug up and he's like, shoot with laser beam here. He doesn't do anything. He just sort of waves his arm out. There's no music playing. It doesn't make sense. It's just silly reason to have this like, oh yeah, it's music and it's got a thing. It just seems silly. Also, right, can I get to the key point on the music side of things, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
This is the one thing I don't like about the show, right? So the aliens appeared. Oh no, they don't like vibrations, and that's how they follow us back. Oh, music. It's not like we've got soundproofing. No. We just soundproof just every building. We just soundproof every building. Job done. No? Then we can have all the music we want. Or headphones. What's wrong with headphones? You can just wear some headphones. In fact, we could have like special helmets that don't let the music out. No? Or does the vibrations travel down your body and your feet? We come up with special shoes as well. You could have like special helmets, special headphones, and special shoes. So no vibrations escape your body. Oh, it's just so... Oh, no, I can't play my piano anymore. No one's allowed to play a piano anymore. There's no pianos left anymore. Soundproofing exists. Why?
Do you know how expensive soundproofing is?
Oh, just too expensive, you know. It wouldn't be like there'd be a massive booming industry in producing it for this world. It just that's what annoys me so much. It's like, okay, because because we get pushed, the time points we are in is that we get to see. If we don't get told of the asteroid landing and what the war and everything in the first time, pushing the aliens into being dormant, then we get the time point of this here, which as you can see up there, where they're normal. This is normal blonde haired girl. She's a normal girl, and then the aliens attack or become not dormant anymore, and then she turns into music art, and then we have the time point, which I think I'm not even sure if we're moving towards it or we're past it now, of she's a music art and we have to take her to New York to be to actually get calibrated like a machine properly because she's not calibrated properly or whatever, right? So it's just and so we're in this time point when they're dormant or they're coming back to life, and you find people doing stupid things like, oh, I'm setting up a casino and I've got music here. Oh no, the D2 are here. I never thought they would be. It doesn't make sense. How would there be a world in which, oh, we must fight these aliens with music? Right, that's the military. The military is now just, you're part of the military now to save the planet, and you're going to be organized, and we're going to, no, they're musicians, so they're free, and they can travel how they see and fit. No, it's like, no, this would be, shut up. We're going to militarize you and do as you say, and everything's going to be tracked. We've got satellites in orbit, or do we lose those too? And we're going to track the D2, and we're going to set up, we're going to coordinate, oh, they're all gone dormant. Right, well, then we'll coordinate them, and we'll set up all our travel and everything. No, well, they went dormant, but the world's, oh, well, it's really hard to get to New York. Why? That was years ago. Why is it not? Oh, God. Right, now Xeno can try and tell me why this mess is good.
I do like this show. I actually enjoy it quite a bit. I actually compare this to Blue Period, which I've spoken about before, and the Fate series, the Fate franchise, because it's very much the master-servant situation. The music art is the servant. It's based on each music art is supposed to be based on a symphony composed by a classical composer. And the conductor, the maestro, is meant to synchronize with the music art to better instruct them on how to do the combat good, right?
Look, I'm synchronizing with Xeno to make him speak good.
like. Anyway, I will say the animation of the show is very good.
It is.
I do agree. Yeah. I do agree with Loz. And so, our main protagonist is losing his arm and then somehow gets it back.
Never comment on it.
The somehow gets it back thing is the how.
Well, so when you see her become a music art, she sort of I think what it is she's wearing around her neck a stone of this anti-D2 rock or whatever, and so it merges with her to turn into a music art, and she reaches out and touches his arm, and that's when his arm first disappears because it gets covered in roses and things. But we've seen several music arts now. She's the only one that has like a transformation sequence and goes into a different mode. All the other ones just have a weapon appear.
There's supposed to be something wrong with her.
Right, but none of them comment on that. Nobody comments on the arm. No, they don't. They just say she's not calibrated right. And she's
not on the arm. Not on the arm. Yeah,
not on the arm, and not on her transformation sequence.
The only comment you have is that that's not normal. That shouldn't be happening.
No, it's not towards her. It's towards how much strain she's putting on him and the red growth on him. Not ignoring his arm missing is what they comment on. They don't comment on the arm missing. They don't comment on her having a full body transformation at all.
No, they do.
No, they don't. When do they do that? I
promise you they do.
They don't.
In the... God, it's in the breakfast scene. With the teacher that basically... He's been asleep for days or a day.
I remember that. Yeah.
And he does actually say, it's weird that she keeps on changing everything and that you lose your arm. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it is covered, right? Okay. But I could be filling in.
I'm just going to click through.
You go for it. It's this scene right now.
I think they do say that she's unique, right? But they don't say why or how she's unique. She says I've never seen a music art like her. That's all they'll say. But then they also say in this scene that she's not.
Doesn't he also say you should go to?
Yes, yeah. They say she's not working
York.
right. You need to go to Symphonica New York, and she's not. She's unique, but they don't say anything about her full body transformation. They don't say anything about him losing her arm. I think.
Okay, fine. Yes, I do agree with that. I do agree that, and it is putting his life at risk and things like that. One of the big things about it putting his life at so because it's not a. Maybe I've assumed this, but because the transformation is not a proper one, whenever she is effectively wildly shooting in the air, it is actually consuming part of his body, which again alludes back to how is he still going? How is he getting his arm back and things? I totally agree with Loz on that one. It doesn't make a great deal of sense. One of the other things that Loz has missed watching it or hasn't raised is that there seems to be some double dealing going on with the Symphonica, the army that was set up in America to combat the D2. It looks like someone is controlling the D2 because do you remember the tuning fork?
Yes, that was never explained. It does seem that there is a overarching thing here. Probably something along the lines, or the feeling I'm getting of is that the Symphonica, maybe it was set up with the best intentions. I've gone black. Hello?
No, he's still maybe we.
Oh,
yep, there you go. Right.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can still hear you.
Okay, I'll just talk for a bit then. So it feels like that there's some sort of shady organization going on, and though they were set up to fight the D2, maybe they discovered something of like, aha, but we can use the D2 and control them and use them for our own power and take over the worlds. Like that's the kind of thing that's kind of going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like someone within the military is effectively telling them, hey, you know, like, there's more and more D2 threats. You need to give us more resources and martial law, and I'm now boss man. So yeah, I am enjoying it. I do like the journey across America thing, as opposed to everything taking place in either Tokyo, New York, or London. So I do like the idea of the journey across America. What was it? I like the fact that they actually had a map on the table, and it showed that it wasn't like a hologram or anything. It was just a paper map, but it showed like where all the D2 had vested, and it was like various different shades of red and things, and it was basically all of Central America.
Wow.
So yeah. So basically, they have to go from the South America, like, you know, sorry, not south of the United States, like one of the border states, and they have to travel east to hit the coast and then travel up to New York. They can't just go in a straight line. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm happily keep on watching it. Do you think you're going to stop now, Loz, or?
No, I like I say, for some reason VR chat seems to have closed. Weird. So no, I like the setting. I just wish it was explained more. I think it's really interesting the way, you know, that the. Hello.
Yeah. Sorry. I want to. You point out, why don't they have soundproof rooms with instruments and shit like that? That's what they had in the 6th episode that you skipped through.
No, I skipped through it and I saw that, but it's like that's not good enough. Showing me one room, especially that in the previous episode
you mentioned the headphones. 100%. I didn't even think that. Why doesn't people just wear headphones all the time? Yeah. Okay. All we have to do is expand speakers. Yeah.
You could
no speakers for you.
Yeah. So that's the thing that gets me. It's just like so. Has anyone actually read, I think it's World War Z, the book?
No, not read it.
Right. Well, in the end, after the zombie apocalypse and humanity recovers, they even like come up with houses. Like, so we need to make a new plot of houses, understanding that anyone can become a zombie when they die. So all the houses are on like 12-foot stilts, and then they're also like 5 foot apart, so that you can extend bridges between them, so that any house could be connected. So if one house gets, if the zombies were to invade again, or house gets zombified, they wouldn't be able to get across to other houses easily. But you could connect the houses to escape between the houses, so that you could manage the situation. So you see how the world changes with technology based on the current situation. This is a world in which, we can't have music being played out, right? But we want music back. What happened to headphones? What? No, the only music I can only appreciate music if it is glaringly spewed out everywhere. That is the only way to appreciate music. It's like, come on.
I completely respect what Loz is saying here.
Kind of reminds me of what I've heard about the logic in Bird Box.
Yeah, Bird Box. Which one's that? Is that one that
That's
can't
the one
look?
where they can't make sounds because the aliens or whatever.
No, I thought that's Quiet Place. Bird Box is the one that you can see anything.
Yeah.
Can't look? Oh, okay. Well, either way. One of them is you can't make a noise, and there's like all these noises that you hear, or you can't live in, like, why wouldn't you live in an area where there's a bunch of natural noise, like next to a waterfall or something?
Which they go to, don't they? They go, I think in the first movie, they go to a waterfall and like, it's so great,
it's the only place we can be safe and talk,
So build your house there.
Yeah. It's that level of logic for the noise, I guess.
Isn't he like soundproofing a room so that the wife can give birth? It's like, do it at the waterfall.
yeah.
It's so stupid. It's like, we're really clever, but not.
It's aliens that come to invade and take over Earth, and but they're allergic to water.
Yes,
definitely. Yeah.
See a small flaw in this plan. Right. Okay. Should we move on to the next one?
Yep.
Oh, it's my one, isn't it?
It is your one.
I'm gonna choose. You know what? I'm gonna do Komi, right?
Ooh.
So, because I haven't got any notes for Komi, and I think I need to be more awake for this than not. So, I will say I'm really enjoying Komi. The sixth episode, yeah, the latest episode, I felt has thus far been the weakest. But one of the really appealing elements to Komi is the fact that she is like the most popular character in the entire school. She's like, you know, she is the princess. They consider her a god, right? And she suffers from crippling anxiety. So even though she's incredibly smart, she's beautiful, she just cannot talk to anyone. And it felt like a really nice pivot to characters with social anxiety normally. A cue to anyone to comment.
Yeah, no, I agree. I generally don't go in for slice of life stuff, but I love the twist in this so much that it's really engaging.
I think there's been a number of occasions when Loz and I are supposed to be doing something, and I just turn to him and say, "Hey, has Komi come out yet?" And he goes like, "Yes, it has." And then we just put everything on hold, watch Komi, and then we can do. It hasn't resulted in recording our other podcast at stupid o'clock in the morning at all. No, not. I don't know what you're talking about. The art style in this is fantastic. They clearly, I don't know if they had like a huge budget. They really focused where they should on how to do this properly. The intro, I feel like the intro is an artistic choice, but you can tell it's some of the rough workings towards the full animation. I just feel like that was kind of a shortcut into making sure that they had enough budget for the rest of the show. Honestly, I'm loving it. I think it's really, really good. I hope that they don't. Well, it's kind of the mission that she's constantly recruiting more friends and things. But I do hope that there gets to be like a bit of a meta arc, you know, for a short period of time. You know, maybe 1 or 2 episodes, just to break it out of just shorts, comedic shorts that are happening throughout. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah. Yeah, a lot of the episodes are like 2 or 3 segments. It's like, oh, here's Komi doing this thing that she can't do, and oh, here's Komi doing this thing that she can't do. I get where you're coming from with that.
I swear the last 2 episodes with like 5 segments.
I heard from you, my thing cut out for a bit there. You were saying about the intro was amazing. I assume you're pointing out your flaw now. What was your flaw?
Oh, I'm not. I hope that there's an overarching meta plot for a brief period at some point soon in the show, and it's not just. And here's a funny skit, and here's another funny skit, and here's another funny. Like, I just maybe just one episode that is just here's just one thing we're focusing on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so it sits on one thing for a while. I don't know that they do. You do get those in the manga. I don't know if. I think like the next episode might be because they like go to a swimming pool and things like that. So it may be there are more overarching, longer stuff later on. But this, it kind of is just that. I can't explain why because it's a little bit of spoiler, I suppose, but it's not a spoiler actually. So the first year is mostly just loads of little things. And then Komi gets kind of worried at the end of the year because everything's been so great. Because I don't know if you know, but apparently, I assume this is how Japanese schools work because I learned it from manga. Between years, you reshuffle all the kids.
Right.
So I thought that was my screen then, Nazza. So she's really worried that in the next year she might not be with anyone she knows.
Right.
Yeah. There's also actually in the first year there is another like mini arc, exactly what you want, which is when they go on a field trip and I'll give you a little minor spoiler. But I don't know if we're even going to get to these within 12 episodes.
Well, more than likely won't. I mean, if this company is smart, right? If these producers are smart, they'll milk this for all it's sodding worth.
Oh, it's so popular on the internet. It's so
Right,
is it?
popular.
Oh god, yeah, like the memes, the sheer volume of memes and fan art laws.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
it's hard to say for me because when we finish Komi, I'm gonna have to pause and reset my computer because it's not playing ball. But I'll do this one right now. So it's hard for me to say because, or is it running now? I don't know. Because no, now you're loading home. Right, so it has been, just let you know, this has been like incredibly true to the
manga.
Apart from like incredibly minor things, like, and I can point out one that I remember, which is, Komi gets a flip phone.
Yeah,
There's like an image or two of just like her hinting to her father she wants a phone, and then everything else is like in the is in the anime. So it's just like a tiny shot missing, like one shot. So apart from like tiny things like that, this has been so true. Like people have made on the Komi-san Reddit, like they put the footage from the anime and then the shots from the manga. And you can just watch them line up. It's so accurate that they're being, but also they're going so slowly. Yeah.
One thing I will really call out Netflix on. For fuck's sake, right? Sort your fucking subtitles out.
Yeah.
If you've got a wall of no. If you've got a wall of text, right, that is not spoken aloud, right? Fucking put subtitles there. And I know what it is. I've worked it out. They can only have, I'm pretty sure, they can only have subtitles in one part of the screen.
Oh, well, yeah, no, they've only got one track or something to put subtitles in. They do not have the ability to, this is what everyone's assuming, they don't have the capacity to do multiple like lines of subtitling or subtitling and comments. They just have one thing to do subtitles with.
Yeah, so you can either have a subtitle block at the bottom, you can have a subtitle block at the top. You can't have both, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's holding it back.
Seeing as this is Netflix, right, and seeing as it's not coming out at the same time as it's coming out in Japan, or even like the Netflix one was delayed by weeks. Everyone was assuming that's still 2 weeks. That's a long time in these things. Everyone was assuming they were doing edits, or that's because they had to change things or translate stuff. Yeah. No, the fan subtitles are better than Netflix.
Yeah, that's
the people who are doing it for free are doing a better job. It's just ridiculous.
Like, I don't understand why Netflix doesn't take the subtitle blocks, because basically you just get the odd thing where it says like Komi's petrified because she's engaging with Najimi for the first time. Like in this scene, right? Like you can see right now, they actually have like multiple different subtitles appear, right? So it's like this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. That's fine, right? But when they have a dialogue box appear and there's a discussion being had, they opt to go for the discussion and ignore the dialogue box. Sodding translated.
Like, you're missing so much out on that.
This is not really a dub. They're doing a sub, yeah?
Yeah, it's sub.
Yeah.
It's sub.
Now, for most animes, I'm sure it's fine. But we literally have a character that cannot talk and tells a lot of its stuff by either holding up a piece of paper or having an exclamation box next to it, implying, Komi is shocked now. Komi is this now. It's how it tells its story. And instead, I assume you're like, something's happening, and there's just some Japanese words on a box. And you're like, I wonder what those mean.
Yeah. Sometimes it's trans because there's they're audibly read out. Sometimes there's no audio to conflict with it, so they do translate it. But whenever there is a conversation being had and one of those boxes appear, it's just flat out ignored, and I cannot stand it. It pisses me off.
So I think it's terrible for a version, and I assume there's going to be a dub at some point, and they better do the effort of translating all the stuff into English. Like we've got to see. There's a perfect example for you.
Yeah.
So that you wouldn't have the sulking on the Netflix one. You would just have a wad of Japanese text pointing at Komi, and then them saying Komi-san is so cute, and you're like, well, what is the emotion of Komi-san? She could be scared, she could be angry at them. No, it's sulking, and it's like, you wouldn't know. It's so annoying.
I think one of the things that really impresses me about this show is in a lot of this type, as far as I'm aware anyway, in a lot of this type of anime, you would end up with Komi and Tadano
Yep.
in this sort of will they won't they relationship thing. But there's no real. It may come in the future, but there's no real evidence of that right now. He genuinely just wants to help her, and she's genuinely just looking at him as a friend. It's really kind of nice to see.
So I think enough praising of Komi. Let's quickly.
If you have any bad things to say about Komi, please put them in the description or in the comments below.
If you say anything bad about my Komi,
and we'll tell you how wrong you are.
Joking, obviously. Right, let's pause so Loz can fix this thing, and we'll move on to the next thing. We have replacement Loz now.
Yes, replacement Loz, because VR has decided to die on me.
A death.
Live action Loz for your live action need. Man of mystery. Man of many faces.
I better still use the controls though. So, otherwise I can't have the finger tracking.
Oh goodness.
Wait, what's the thumbs up like? Oh, best thumbs up.
That's what you got.
Yep. Why is my
what?
Why is my Discord just going like full okay.
No one cares. Keep going.
No one cares. Okay. So we're moving on to Lupin, which was mine to watch mostly. I think exclusively. I think Loz only watched one episode.
No, I want to point out I wanted to get into this because after talking Naz and saying about it, and I was like, okay, at least I want to watch one episode so I can at least have a thing for it. And then I seem to have discovered an episode 0, which doesn't make sense. Really, you shouldn't be starting there, and it was not a good watch. And I'm like, Nasuth, why does it start so weird? And you're like, what do you mean it starts so weird? Look at this. Like, this isn't where it starts. I'm like, what is this then? This is what I want to watch. This looks good.
The series proper starts with a two-parter about Sherlock Holmes. Well, Sherlock Holmes in name only, because it's sort of like Lupin, where it's a title that's essentially passed on. He's the world's greatest detective gets to be called Sherlock Holmes. It's great. Right. Sets up this whole mystery
like a job
about
title.
What? Huh?
It's like a job title.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So it sets up this whole thing about there's a mysterious group called the Raven, and they're going to infiltrate, like Lupin's trying to infiltrate them and all that. 5 episodes in, I haven't seen anything else about that. I mean, it's still great. It's still great because it's Lupin, but I haven't, like, none of their heists tie back into that at all.
For now, but that's typical. That's typical of the series, though.
Is it? I honestly haven't watched too many of the past ones.
Yeah, like parts 4 and 5 I've watched. Like they will refer to there'll be a big event, big 2-parter at the start. Then it'll come back around episode 7, 8, right? Something like that, maybe even 6. And then it'll move on to probably like 13, 14, where they'll do another part of it, and then it will close with the same meta narrative. It's got episodic sprinkled things scattered around, right? The whole series.
So maybe some of these heists that they've gone on will maybe even tie back at the end, like, oh, we needed this item for this reason or something.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say I can't possibly spoil anything when none of it ties back in, but
has happened.
Episode 5, which I did just watch, is the first part of a 2-parter, so maybe at the end of that it will. But it is still essentially just good old Lupin. They're having great adventures. They're getting into zany problems and trying to solve them in fantastic ways. Like episode 3, yes, episode 3, they're trying to do a heist on this train enthusiast who has like a very distinctive mustache, and the vault that he hides his prize in, I won't say what the prize is all the doors, all the locker doors have mustaches on them. It's so silly, but it's exactly what you'd expect from Lupin.
Right.
I remember an episode from part. It's a comedy, but I remember an episode from part 5 where the only way you could unlock the vault was if you had like a below average intelligence IQ. Like, basically, you had to be dumb as a rock in order to. Well, I say below average, but yeah, no, you had to be dumb as a rock in order to actually open the vault. So Lupin learned to lower his IQ.
Oh
right?
my god!
Yeah, it's like he's suppressing his IQ like it's a power level or some shit.
He drank a lot, just a lot.
But the
Why do
whole
you say
point
that?
of,
Because this episode 0 I saw, it didn't seem much of a comedy. It was the gunslinger guy was like, I want to leave. Because everything's different now, and it's new, and there's drones that shoot glue at me and things, and the guns are made of plastic, and I don't like this. And then he goes, I'm never going to meet Lupin again. And then he goes straight to talk to Lupin, and then they get drunk.
Well, yeah,
the drunk
there's humor there.
part, clearly.
And then they try and kill people with C4.
What?
No, with dynamite, sorry.
They never try to kill people.
Well, no, he doesn't. Okay, he's not directly trying to kill them, but then they'll have like, oh my god, the policeman that literally the gunslinger guy was talking to, literally before, as he went, I'm never going to see Lupin again. Then goes straight to Lupin. The policeman's like, aha, I knew you'd go straight to Lupin. And then they have to like run away from him, so they all run away. He's like, the gunslinger's left. And he's like, they've got the drones. And he sets up some dynamite and some alcohol on like an upper gantry above him, and then he shoots it, and it explodes. And there's people nearby, and I'm like,
I told Loz you may not have had to ever see past Lupin to actually get into this, but I think I'm wrong. I think you may have at least need to have seen one of the old seasons, like one of the really early seasons.
But to be fair, though, he needs to see more than one episode.
Yes, yeah,
right.
But yeah, so the whole thing with Zenigata,
there was no comedy. There was no comedy at all in it. It was just...
that's because you don't know the relationships. You don't know that Zenigata has been tracking them for essentially 50 years now, because the anime has been running since the 70s.
But then the woman was trying to get the drunken gunslinger to go along with just her, and just those two will go off and do crimes, because then they'll actually be able to get stuff done.
Wait. Fumiko.
Yeah.
I don't know, woman.
Does she look...
Redhead?
Yeah, she was clearly one of the gang.
That's weird. She hates
not
all of them.
entirely one of the gang. She's sort of like, it's the core group is
no
really
one likes her.
Yeah.
Well, they basically get captured, and the only reason they have money from their heist and their giant bags is because she had a car, and they get captured by drones that shoot glue.
She doesn't.
And then she just gave them money.
Right, I just want to double check. Are you saying glue or blue?
It was like glue, balls of glue, glue guns on their drones, and then but they turn up there, and she gives them some money, obviously, and then she just propositions the gunslinger guys like, hey, you can go along with me and we'll be able to do stuff. And he's like, nah, and it's all about alcohol tastes better when you drink it with friends. I'm like, this is a really miserable show.
No, to be fair though, I've not actually witnessed this, like the origin of this, but I know that Jigen,
Goemon, yes, that's the name.
Yeah, they both like detest Fumiko because she will backstab them any chance she gets. But Lupin is massively in love, which makes really no sense that she would come on to Jigen unless she's trying to
she doesn't really come on. She says like, me and you should just leave and go do heists just together, just us two. Get rid of these two idiots. Like, get rid of Lupin and the samurai guy. And the samurai guy's just like, I love my sword. I freaking love my sword. I freaking love my sword. And then Lupin gets all like drunk as well and goes, if he wants to leave, he can leave because everyone thought I was weird, but he just treated me like me, so I have to return that. I'm like, this is so depressing and just like, what is going on with this show?
I'm gonna have to go look to watch the stream.
Yeah, I need to watch this.
I don't know if it's a case of if you just.
I think Loz has found the wrong show.
Yeah,
I just found the wrong.
I think you've just like you've like how you get those parody adult shows that have the same name. It's like it's not the X-Men, it's the triple X-Men. Yeah. I think Loz has somehow stumbled onto one of those.
Well, I mean, it is episode 0, so maybe it's not supposed to be quite normal. I don't know. Apparently, some of the police officers had like plastic guns.
They have plastic guns that then also had some sort of UI interface on the back for different gun options.
Why would the police officers need plastic guns?
Don't know.
So that guy with revolver who has a hard on for his revolver because he goes, I lost
Jigen.
my revolver.
Yeah.
Where's my revolver?
Yeah.
The revolver. He refuses to use the plastic gun, and that's part of what upsets him. And says like, times are changing, and I just do not like.
Oh wait, are they using plastic guns so that if he gets his hands on them, he won't use it?
No, it's just it's the.
I think it's something about how
police chasing them have super technology such as drones that shoot glue, drones that he can't shoot because they adapt to his movements, and guns that shoot something else and are made of plastic, which he hates because they're made of plastic.
It's no longer
He
the
takes
70s.
it with him and hands it over to the policeman as if it's his bar tab. He goes to this whiskey place. He's like, I know this is expensive whiskey, but it just doesn't taste the same because you're not drinking with friends. That's the meaning for it. And then the policeman turns up and they're like, I'm off duty. And it's like, and then he doesn't pay for the whiskey, but he throws one of the plastic guns or the policeman goes, that'll cover my tab. And it's like what is going on? It's a terrible show.
I'm just like I'm really intrigued to watch this because I don't know if it's being taken over by some other weird wacky studio, but it sounds like a completely different show.
Well, another one that's kind of weird along those lines in this season is episode 4, which felt like kind of like a mix between this show and the Blues Brothers, because they're both dressed exactly the same. They go into a restaurant. They have this whole routine with each other where they're going back and forth. It's so strange, and it all makes sense by the end. But it's so different from anything else this season or anything I've ever seen in Lupin.
Okay.
And Lupin was like, whenever the times change, I change with them. But he can't do that because he's like a fixed point for me. I was like, what is this show? It's boring and depressing, and I'm tired of it already.
Okay.
So exciting.
So Nasuth enjoys it, whereas Loz already wants to give up on it.
I don't even know if I was watching the right show.
I still rate the opening a 10 out of 70s kitsch.
Oh my god. Right.
I've not checked it on multiple websites that was listed as episode 1 for this season. I'm like, okay.
No, that's definitely episode 0.
It literally just starts with like this little thing about a gun, and then they're just in a prison cell, and I'm like, what's going on?
Okay, right. Is there anything else you want to cover on Lupin before we spiral into Loz's depression further?
I don't want to give anything away, really. The 2-parter seems intriguing, even though I don't know how it's going to tie into anything. But it's if you like Lupin, go watch it. If you don't like Lupin,
this is
go watch some
quality
Lupin,
root beer.
some classic Lupin or something.
Oh, damn, I want
high
Lupin
quality root
And then
beer,
watch this.
but it doesn't taste right.
because you're not drinking with the friends.
I'm not drinking with friends.
Because of the
So-
COVID lockdown.
Just before we devolve even further, I'm just gonna say I'll probably wait for the whole season to come out before I'll start watching this.
Fair.
So,
It's a good
Right,
one to binge.
okay.
It's just
Loz.
so fun.
Loz, what? Pick one.
What have I got left?
Well, what have you already got done?
Shikizakura, Megaton, AMAIM, and 86.
Megaton. Let's go to Megaton so I can moan about that.
There you go.
What?
Go on.
What? Oh, Megaton.
Yeah, moan about it.
What was the boop for?
I hit the button.
Oh, sorry. I thought
Gun
it
got
was
booped.
timing things. Yeah, so after Nasuth watched Megaton last time, I decided, you know what? Giant robots. I'll walk into this. I'll have some fun as well.
I'm so sorry.
The show... okay, the show, the really low bar. Is it worth picking it up? No. But let's see why I'm going to complain about it.
Nope.
Why I'm going to complain about the show, right?
Oh, even the
I like
opening is only a
robots.
6 out of Super Robo.
Yeah. The 6 star super. Yes, it is definitely that. Like, okay, I don't mind. I forgive giant super robots. I love my giant super robots. I'm more of a real robot guy, but I still love my giant super robots as well. If anyone doesn't know, super robots are ones that almost literally they have stupid powers they pull out of nowhere that almost seem like magical powers, whereas real robots have things like ammo and guns that are guns, you know, so based on technology, right? But okay, my problems with this show is the premise. Just quickly, just to go over it again in case someone doesn't know. Aliens have invaded the planet. And humanity's now gone into several shelters. We've got a bit more information on what's going on in the world. Down to several shelters left. And we still have to survive. We still have to get resources from nearby areas to these shelters. And the aliens just seem to want to take our resources to terraform the planet. But they've already blown a hole through the center of the planet. There's a big eyeball now in the middle of the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because of that, the weather of the planet's kind of weird, and that's why if you ever wonder in the episodes, and they do say about this, if the sky is different, it's like, why is the sky different? It's like, well, because the weather patterns kind of move with the planet.
There's like a blue band that they talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, and it moves with the planet. So I'm like, okay, at least they're justifying why they get different backgrounds each episode, and why it's like, oh, we're in a desert with a red sky, and then we're in a town with a blue sky. So it's explaining that sort of stuff. But the fights are also very formulaic these days. The aliens turn up, they fight the aliens, they make a giant alien, and then they kill it with a new superpower. That's fine. That's fine. I don't mind. It's that sort of simple show. Two problems I have with the show. No, 3 problems I have with the show. First of all, the named mechs are just treated like cannon fodder. They just die, and each one is piloted by a person. Maybe if they're AI robot ones, that's like, oh, we can mass produce these, but we need to make a better caliber robot, so we made the Megaton. It's better and it's piloted. But no, the smaller versions of they look like just the smaller versions of the Megaton. Really, they are piloted by people who actually are in the the shelter. Oh, and it's for Drew's benefit. So in the shelter, all the people they have like a I don't know, a big city's worth of people in the shelter, but they actually have taken out all their memories of the alien invasion. Yeah.
So do the shelters move?
Yes. Well, they will.
No.
Yes.
They can move.
Yes.
But they
will move.
Yet.
Yes, but they will be moving.
Yes.
But they need to make it move so they can make a battleship or something.
So are they walking around outside?
In their robots, yes.
In the robots, got it, right.
They only leave the shelter in the robot.
The shelter's hidden behind this weird
so wait, have they ditched their shelter?
No.
So they haven't ditched their shelter?
No, yeah, we focus on one shelter, the main shelter that we're dealing with. But in the last episode, we've learned there are other shelters left on Earth. They're hidden.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we haven't traveled to any shelters yet, but that's how they would...
we will. We will be.
That makes sense now.
This is what we got to do.
Right.
Okay, so anytime you see like on the screen here where they're like in a town, it's like, well, what's going on there? There's no robots and aliens. To have the ability to have that kind of part of the show of like school kids and things, they have that within the shelter. The majority of the population have their minds removed because otherwise they just go insane or just give up. So they think like it's a normal world, and then from that, kids are picked. It seems to be always kids because, well, TV show that are warriors.
I think they do kind of give a reason for that, but I don't remember what it is.
Evolution.
Something about them being more adaptable, I think. I don't know.
Whatever. It's getting weird. But there's also some of the aliens have invaded the... three aliens have invaded the shelter. One is an assassin who's trying to kill the pilots of the Megaton and things, or of any of the robots, because that might force evolution or something. And then there's the princess of the main aliens who's in there as well. But she actually wants peace with the humans, but her mum's like, we're not having peace. Go live with the humans for a bit and understand. And she's got like an assistant. She then possesses one of the schoolgirls, because she do. And she then tries to prove herself by killing one of the pilots, but she can't. And she's like, so she's a bit...
Where the fuck is the school?
Her motivation is so
shelter.
This is a past flashback of when the aliens invaded Earth, by the way. This isn't in the shelter. And what else? Oh, yeah, and they can now turn into giant... The aliens, even when possessing people, can turn into giant fox werewolf things. That's just been shown.
No, that's special because she's special. See,
yeah. Right, well, sorry. You said there's a school in the shelter.
There's a city in the shelter. A whole city.
Yes.
Right. But we're not got like, is this some kind of military school? Is this some kind of cadet camp?
They don't know that there's a
Oh, no. Hold on. Right. So I'm trying to make sure I understand this bullshittery. Is that an alien?
That's the alien. You're saying while he transformed in a human body, I don't think that is a human body. I think that's supposed to be...
Okay, he didn't do it in a human body.
Okay. Right. I want to understand the world setting good and proper.
Okay.
Right. We have a shelter.
Imagine, but when I say a shelter, I mean like giant, huge anime nuclear defense bunker.
It's a city hidden behind a holographic barrier.
Yeah.
Sorry? A force field?
No.
Or just a
No.
So it's just an illusion.
Barrier. The enemies just can't see it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So
it's a giant. It's going to be a giant spaceship.
Right. So
thing.
We have at least one school inside this city that's inside this holographic barrier.
Yes.
Right.
Have you ever played?
Wait, hold on.
Sorry,
hold
yes.
on.
Sorry,
Right. God, you're so jumpy. Right. we have this school that is specifically there to train pilots for the giant robot.
No.
So they're genetically engineered children to pilot the giant.
No.
So
one of them
the
is.
kids fell in the giant robot.
No. So
why are the kids piloting the giant robot?
Because evolution. No, right. So the city is trying to keep everyone normal, and the school is normal, and there are even some characters like one of the girls who's clearly going to be a pilot. She's like, something's wrong with this city. It doesn't make sense. People disappear and things. Ooh, what's going on there? And they sort of, when they become pilots, they sort of go from the city like down shafts into like the shelter area. So there's the city like that shape, like there's a city, and then below it's like the hangar bays hidden away. The people in the city have their memories. They just think it's just a city in Japan. And then they get told, and they get their memories back when they go, and then like, the aliens. Oh, okay. So you're gonna go fight for us now? Yes, I will now go fight for you.
Basically.
I'm not gonna lie, this sounds stupid.
It is stupid. Anyway, that's not even why it's stupid. That's
oh my lord!
Yeah,
okay,
I'd be alright with
is,
that because that's kind of typical anime.
Yeah, the thing that gets me is that this kid. See, the thing when you're saying like they were genetic engineer or something, that would be fine. No, these are kids who were there when the aliens first invaded, and so like the main character, his family died or something, and so that's why he gets the memories back of that, and he's like, oh my god, my family died, blast you aliens, I kill you all, and that's why he wants to fight now. And then he gets in the main thing. The thing that annoys me is, right, so every episode they unlock a new superpower, which they have them all, and they just go, we'll use this one this time for the Megaton. Either a giant plasma sword, a giant death kick, giant super punch, giant chest cannon. You know them, Guyver-esque things, you've used them. The problem with it is, the main pilot has never used these abilities before. And yet, in every fight, it's like, oh, we've got to use that weapon, but it's not powerful enough. And then he comes up with a way of using it that is different, and it's like, oh my god, that's why he's so good a pilot. He used it in this way that we didn't consider. He's never used the ability before. He has no idea what's going to happen when he's do it. Like, so one of the time he had this giant plasma sword, not the double plasma swords. He had a giant plasma sword, and he charges it. He's like, they charge it up. And it's like, it's not going to be enough to cut through. He's like, it will. And it's like, okay, it's 100% charge. Keep charging it.
Yes. Oh god, this one annoyed me so much. 20%.
Keep charging it. It'll blow up. Keep charging it. It's 160%. Keep charging it. It's 200% charge. Now we will use it. How did he know it could go to 200%? Why not 300%?
Why?
By all
Why
rights,
does
it
it ever go beyond the 100?
Why? Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, it'll blow up the Megaton. No, I can do it. I keep charging it. Another time,
I believe in it.
When he learns the death kick ability, super death kick thing, he's like, it's not going to be enough to penetrate it. It's like, or if you do, it'll explode. We need to get it out of there because there's an alien that's going to explode itself. And so he kicks into, instead of kicking the enemy, he kicks into the ground and then activates another super ability, which is the punchy fist, to then redirect his kick, because he uses the punch downwards, that then redirects his kick so he attacks it from underneath.
That's because that's how physics works.
That's how physics works. This is what really annoys me about it, is he just seems to know, oh wait, I know if I use it differently. It doesn't even show that, maybe if in the town you saw him using like a different style of martial arts and that's, he knew things differently or something. No, he just fights. It's nothing special about him. He's like, I'm just a bit of a fighter guy at school. I fight people.
See, I feel that they could resolve a lot of this by, they have this whole memory manipulation shenanigans.
Yeah.
They should have just gone, yeah, well, we also downloaded this knowledge or this engineering manual into your brain as well.
They do.
But it's only like basic use.
It's basic use. They say that's like, how are we piloting this robot? Well, we put the knowledge of how to pilot it in your brain, but you have to go use the robot because otherwise you'll lose these memories. So that's why they have to go pilot it. So they are told like the basic thing of it. But it's that. But literally every time he uses his abilities differently, the people who built the freaking robot are like, how is he doing this?
This is
we never
impossible.
considered that. It's
See,
impossible.
this is
It'll blow up. Like,
this is the the level of bullshit that Gurren Lagann had. But Gurren Lagann never went on any form of rules, right?
Yes,
the rules were
shit.
The rules were, if you believe hard enough, bullshit will happen, right?
And I'll win. And it's all about how much I can believe win. Yeah, more.
Yeah, this is like I'm doing a presentation in front of some CEO and I'm blagging the fuck out of it, but because I'm blagging it so fucking hard, I'm winning, right? That's what Gurren Lagann, the rules Gurren Lagann worked on, right? This sounds like The Matrix met Gurren Lagann, but fell into a puddle of its own puke.
Yeah. Yeah, he wins because he's main character, not because of anything, really.
He literally pulls techniques out of his ass. Well, like, they pull a new super weapon out of their ass, which even he's like, I didn't know we had this, or why didn't, it's like, and then he'll use it in a way that's never been seen before, and they're like, oh my god, it's amazing.
Did it literally come out of his ass?
Not yet. I'm sure they'll probably find a jetpack down there. And then the other thing is, so we a running theme here is still introducing characters. So quickly, while it's still on screen, you see you got all those characters there. So the three main ones
introducing characters. Oh,
yeah. So the two on the right, right. So the right three, I think, are supposed to be for a different piloting a different super robot. The girls kind of agreed to be a pilot. The guy with the glasses in the middle there, he likes robots. And then the far end character there with the afro, right? That character's turned up most episodes, and only last episode we learned that there's some sort of android that is about taking abuse. And that the whole purpose of it is that it makes other people feel better because they beat him up. And that's its purpose. And we've literally just been introduced to it. He still hasn't had a full resolution and become a pilot yet, so we still haven't had the full introduction of that character.
It's a bully victim.
Yeah, it's a bully victim robot.
Because there's not enough resources in the shelter to really warrant having psychiatric help.
Hold on.
Plus all these people have repressed memories and lash out in weird ways.
It helps them. It helps them subconsciously. Yeah.
So we could have had, instead of having an AI, instead of having an AI therapist, we have AI bully victim.
Yeah.
That sounds like an excellent use of resources.
It's ridiculous. So you're seeing this character literally getting beat up or bullied for like 5 episodes straight. You're like, what the hell is going on with this character?
And it's a robot.
And you find out it's a robot and it's being bullied. And it still hasn't had its full arc because it still hasn't agreed to pilot anything yet. So that's still developing that.
Okay.
I'm going to finish it just for the ridiculousness, but this show's awful. Yeah, done.
Right. Okay. Let's move on. Right.
I like Max.
I did have one other thing to say about it. It's so forgettable that I'd forgotten that I'd watched episodes 3 and 4 until I went back to try and finish it. Finish the last couple. I was like, what? Really? What?
Hey guys, what show does that sound like that we've been binge watching recently? Anyway, let's move on. So the next show we're going to talk about, no clue. Right. So the next show I'm going to talk about is Fruit of Evolution. So after Nasuth fumbled and found that random pink gorilla and put it in the world's finest assassin reincarnation shenanigans, I thought to myself, let's find out what this pink gorilla is all about. Let's get some investigation on. So this is a new one I picked up relatively recently. All right. The first point I want to make, the animation is weak as shit, right? I am flabbergasted at how... Look at this, right? So the setting is that this one kid is getting... He is the ugliest kid in the school. He's the ugly duckling, and the rest of the school pick the shit out. They beat him up. They bully the crap out of him. And the whole school gets isekai'd, right? By a deity or god of some kind, right? This is the quality of the animation of the rest of the school, right? That's it.
They all have the same face.
Look like... Yes, they really fucking do, right?
They all had slightly different eyes, and that was it.
They've all got the same face, right? And like it's just like
I just want to check with you here. Could he be a therapy robot?
Unlikely, right? So the premise is that so this one kid, I'm hoping that we'll get a screenshot anytime now of the kid. He's getting bullied to crap. This deity, ominously speaks to the entire school. I'm gonna fucking isekai all of you now. I'm gonna give you all one special ability, and you can either go, and sort yourselves out into groups, and I'll transport you and everything. The whole school decides to go as one group, but they exclude the bully victim. Right? He's the one guy that is on his own. So the whole school gets transported to this one city, and the bully victim is transported to a forest. But before he goes there, this god, this deity goes, I'm going to give you an extra ability because you are on your own. Right? I'm not entirely sure what the two abilities are. It was probably said at one point, but this is a very RGP-based isekai where they gain skills and they could just say magic words and shit happens, right? Anyway, it's an interesting setup, right? The idea is that I'm not quite sure what the message is supposed to be of the show, because it's very maybe it's a case of it's all right to be a weeaboo, it's all right to be an otaku, it's because you can win at some point in the future, right? You can win at life. Life will give you a chance, right? I'm not quite sure if that's supposed to be the message, but effectively the kid ends up coming across some evolution fruit. This is the kid after one evolution. Right?
Evolution. Okay, so what's the evolution?
Yeah, so he can evolve 10 times, right?
Well, everyone can.
Anyone after you've eaten an evolution fruit, right?
Oh,
which, by the way, looks like a giant fucking walnut, right?
Is it rare?
Yes, right? So
okay.
he ends up stealing them from a bunch of monkeys and things, and he ends up eating. There he is. That's him there, right?
Okay.
Being excluded and everything.
Well, he's not a card like the rest of
them. He's not he actually has some definitive features.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, so he ends up evolving, he gets thinner, he gets stronger, he gets prettier, right? And
that's evolution then, is it?
Apparently. And he ends up attracting the eye of the pink gorilla. The infamous, there he is, all beaten up on the floor. He gets he attracts the attention of the pink gorilla, and the pink gorilla's attracted to him because the pink gorilla threw a punch at him and he didn't die, right? It's someone that can survive my punch, and the pink gorilla can actually talk, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's an interesting setup, and it evolves further on. They actually really push in. This is him eating the fruit, but Nasuth's obscuring the walnut, and so it's an interesting show where he's lucked out in a situation. He does form quite tight bonds with the pink gorilla, and I've not put any I've tried really hard not to put any spoilers in these screenshots. They're only from the first 3 episodes, and I'm enjoying it. The animation quality, jank as hell. Right? Oh yeah, that's one of his abilities. He can make a smell.
Okay.
That was one of the abilities that the god gave him. He can make a smell. And he ends up killing that monkey that's attacking him.
He's a plague marine.
Apparently. Right.
So it lacks in animation, but it makes up in humor?
Yes. Right. It also makes up with copious amounts of fan service.
Of course.
Of course, right?
But if he's by himself, so how much by himself? Surely with just nothing but pink gorilla and other animals, there can't be much fan service. On
No. That he I don't want to spoil anything, but basically, him and Pink Gorilla end up leaving the forest, and they start going to like towns and things.
Right. Okay. I have one question.
And
Has he decided to set up a market stall yet?
no, but it looks like that could happen. I'm not gonna lie.
Right? I just want to know when the I'm gonna set up a shop arc starts, because it always seems to now.
The big thing is, and again, this is a big push to why I'm saying, like, it shows he's trying to run away from the Pink Gorilla, and the Pink Gorilla's chasing him down. Anyway, but the
why do I get Mr. Blobby vibes?
I think that's the thing that only the people from the UK are gonna understand. You might have to Google Mr. Blobby, but anyway,
don't. You will cry.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Right. But anyway. So, I've only watched 5 of the 6 episodes. I didn't realize I hadn't watched all 6, but there are 5 female main characters. Oh, it's a harem. And I've only met 2 of them. It's like,
you mean in the intro sequence we see there's going to be 5, and only 2 have arrived by episode 5.
Yep.
Right. Okay. And they don't appear to be like the schoolgirls sort of thing, and he just hasn't met.
Oh, they're definitely not the schoolgirls.
Right.
They're 100% not the schoolgirls. But it's just
that,
like,
do we see does it keep going back to what's going on their end, or is it just
Nope. Right. So there's one bit after the school part in episode 1.
Yep.
There's another part where they're sort of congregating in one of the cities, and it's like, hey, where's the bully victim? Where's the bully victim? We bullied out of the group. And it's like, that's not very nice. End of that scene. Next scene, they're training. End of that scene. That's it. They got no screen time whatsoever.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that, but why bother having them transported as well?
No, because I'm okay with not going back to them, because then they can have progression off screen that we don't need to see, and then they can come back as a relevant point later for him.
I bet they're going to get no progression.
Well, I hope they do, but at least it's not. I'm just getting spider flashbacks is what's happened with me.
Fair.
So that's why I'm like just focus on him, because that's the interesting thing. Okay.
Considering the quality of the animation on them, I'm pretty sure they're never coming back. But yeah, so I just lots of fans. I'm going to keep watching it. I love the relationships that have been established. They actually put more effort in the relationships in this than they did with that time I was a demon lord but got bored and decided to become a business owner. Yeah, so there's a lot more groundwork for the relationships in this, and I'm going to keep watching it. I'm enjoying it. The animation is jank as hell. Like, that's not how a skull looks. Like, where did you learn basic anatomy? And a skull does not look like that.
It's a magic skull.
Oh my god, tell me about it. Right. That's moving on. Nasuth, pick the next one.
Oh, we're going to do Irina. Which I think Xeno and I have both watched all the way through. Have you watched it, Loz?
No, I watched today's. Have you watched today's?
Loz is, today's. No, I haven't watched today's.
Okay.
I don't think so. Wait, was that episode 6 or 7?
7.
Okay, then no. But, I mean, 6 is enough to see kind of where it's going. I really have been enjoying this one. I really like how much detail they go into with the training. The space nerd in me loves how much they show, like, she's stuck in this very regimented military routine. She's doing these specific things for this specific reason, but they don't go so in depth that it like drowns you in that, because there's still time for character development and talking, but her bonding with Lev and that sort of thing. I don't really want to get too into spoilers, but I did. No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go headlong into spoilers for episode 6 because I did like episode 6 for the most part. I liked that she has this low point where she's gotten weak for whatever reason, and they're not sure if she's going to be able to actually make it, and she has to turn to Lev to get her composure back. But I also hate that when they figure out, oh, she needs some blood to make her better, they don't just... She won't drink just any blood. She wants, blood that's not from a nasty human, and he's the only human she trusts. So he's like, well, you can have some of mine then. They don't just draw his blood and put it in something that she can drink it from. No, they have to go through with the whole biting thing, and it's like, it's just silly. You're in an infirmary with all this equipment. Why are you going that route?
Gotta get it fresh.
I guess.
At least use a straw.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. It just really bothers that bit really bothered me for some reason. But overall, like the imagery is good. I have enjoyed a lot of the interactions. I guess that's really it for spoilers, unless you think you're gonna have any, as well as
Keep going. No.
Yeah, the interactions have been good. There's nothing really. There's no like deeper plot really so far that I can tell. It's all very you see exactly what's going on in how the military treats her like just a test subject, just an animal, and her relationship with Lev and all that. There's nothing really too deep beneath that I've seen.
So I'm gonna so the whole point is that she is trying to get to space, right?
Before
she
the humans
is
defile it.
Yeah, effectively, right? She's already done it. And I would have thought that would have been the end of the series.
In episode 7, she's already done it?
Yep.
Holy crap.
And she's
okay.
back. And she's back, right? I have no...
What do you mean she has to get to space before humans defile it?
Well, that's her dream. Like, she wants to go to space.
She thinks humans are nasty, they defile everything they touch, they're dirty, they're,
Yeah. Yeah, like, you see imagery throughout, like, where humans have basically treated vampires like trash, right? They've gone on, expeditions to exterminate them, so on and so forth.
Right, but she gets to space, she's like, yay, vampire in space, get back to Earth. Right, done that now.
Well, I think her ultimate goal is technically the moon.
No, but that's the point. That's the point that I want to highlight is she's now back. There's at least, I want to say, another 5 episodes to this. Where are they going to go now? That's what I'm really interested in. I thought the show was going to ultimately end with her finally getting to space. So I'm actually invested in this for the fact that her goal's been met. Now what? Now what are they going to do? Is she going to get a new goal? Is she going to be experimented on? Are they going to rebel? Is she going to go back home? I really have no idea where this could go.
Okay.
So I'm really impressed with it. The animation quality is really sharp. I will actually argue now at this point about the relationship with the characters. The relationship between two characters, the main two, is really strong, but next to no other characters get any screen time whatsoever.
That's fair enough. Yeah,
I can't.
Nurse, and or the girl scientist, and that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have Lev, we have Irina. That's it. I can't tell you another. Well, I mean, that's a common problem with most anime. But I couldn't tell you the name of any of the other characters. Right? So
I think there's a Mikhail who's one of the other astronaut candidates, but that's only because it's a good solid Russian name.
Yeah.
But
I'm enjoying this massively, and
oh god, same.
I'm
yeah,
looking forward to the end.
If I were to guess, and I was pretty good with my guess in the first half about the way they're going to treat her, I'm gonna say that it's gonna be about Lev trying to prove to the higher ups that she's human enough that she could go to the moon in a future mission. That's my guess.
I'm guessing that they're going to try and experiment on her and treat her like a lab rat, and he needs to get her out, right?
That's also very possible, yeah.
You know, or it could be a case of they decide, oh, we'll wrap the vampires and use them as guinea pigs for other experiments.
Yeah.
And like it could go in so many different directions. Or it could just be like, oh, you're now an aristocrat because you went up into space. We're going to treat you like royalty and parade you around the dance floor. I don't know. I honestly have no idea where this could go.
It could go that way, but it's not that. Well, they say that they're treating her like an aristocrat, but actually she's sort of an oddity that they just keep around for fun, sort of thing. Yeah,
she's adorable. But yeah, I honestly I have no idea where this could go, and I'm really enjoying it.
Did she turn him into a vampire?
No, she didn't turn him into a vampire.
Can she turn him into a vampire?
I don't think we really know.
No idea. I think they're another subspecies of human. I think their biology is completely independent to ours.
Because they keep saying that like all the things you know about vampires are wrong. They're lies that they're told by humans. So it's
things like also because again this is a fictional Earth, right? Their cross is hilarious. It looks like a Y.
Oh, I never even noticed that.
How could you not notice that?
I don't know.
It's like this giant Y.
Probably too busy reading the subtitles.
Anyway, probably. Right.
Definitely go watch it, especially if you love space stuff.
Your next one.
What have I got left here? Let's do Shikizakura. Get that out of the way.
Shikizakura?
Yeah. And I know Nasuth have seen this, so he can help me up on it. I don't have a great deal to say on this, but there we go. I do feel so the powered suit anime, you've got Oni, which are these very generic aliens. Would you say they look like poop? Is that what you've been saying all the other aliens look like? I can't remember, Xena.
Yeah, kinda. Well, most of them do. Not all of them, but most
CG
of them.
poop.
CG poop. So they pretty much look like CG poop. They seem to be very the same each time. And we're not entirely sure what's going on because they're like aliens or not, but they seem to be linked to people's emotion. And when people get emotional, it draws them in and they try and consume the person. Because then when they possess the person, they can sort of become super Oni. They're called Oni. Is what they're,
there's a special name for the ones that become super Oni, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah, me neither. But they're just like super powerful at that point.
It's like Shinji or something, but it's not Shinji.
Yeah, they just want to eat people though. And then when they become that, they just want to eat more people. There's also these power suits, which we haven't had an explanation where these suits come from. They just have these suits. There's a handful of them. But the main character's one is actually apparently possessed by an Oni, which is interesting. However, so it's really cool that his seems to have, it's almost like an AI now inside of his suit. And at first, he couldn't control it, and it wanted to kill the in their team. There's obviously the power suit people, and then there's the MacGuffin lady, who's the Shrine Maiden, who purifies everything and gets rid of the Oni from a location. And at first, his AI wanted to kill her. It was obsessed with killing her. And then he, in the space of, 10 seconds at some point, just convinces it not to, and it just goes along with him for some reason from then on, and I don't really get it. But that was just a setup, and now we're just standard, quite simple. A person of the week has been corrupted by their emotional problem, and then they're possessed by the Oni, and either we just kill the Oni or we lose them, kind of thing. But they haven't lost anyone yet, and they just kill the bad Onis, and then the Shrine Maiden waves the bells, and that's it. The animation style.
How many episodes have you seen?
5. I don't think I've seen 6. If there was a 6.
Okay, yeah, there was. Yeah. I think it just came out.
It did come out today. Right, at 5, that's where I was feeling, and I do feel that 6 was going to actually lead in something more because we finally got to see a second team of these power suit people who were better, and they actually they were doing stuff with our protagonist. It was like, ooh, what's going on with his suit and things. So that's as far as we got. I enjoy it. But I wouldn't say it's any highbrow or anything. I don't see. Unlike Megaton, which I have problems with it because it's like, why are the normal suits, the normal non-Megaton suits, so useless? Why is he using powers in a way? It's nothing like that in this. It's just very simple. Each suit has its own sort of power, and they just use them and just superpowers them up. And it makes sense for our main character. He's got the Oni in his suit, which is almost working like an AI that gives him a bit of an edge because he can detect Oni with it and things. So I have no problems with it. I just think it's quite middle of the line fare. I enjoy it, but it's just.
Have you noticed that some of the episodes are actually hand animated and not CGI?
Yeah, I do notice it bounces a lot between these things.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
And it's even worse because every time they do hand animated stuff, it reminds me of how much better the show could be if they just did that all the time.
Yep. I haven't got really much more to say about it. I mean, it's just kind of milk toast. It's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing great about it either. You know, it's just kind of standard fare.
Are you going to keep going with it?
Episode 6 is a little better, but yeah.
I'm enjoying it, and I imagine there will be a little bit more development on it, but I doubt it'll go anywhere deep or anything. It'll just be, you know, cool fighting. I enjoy the fights. The fights are cool. The powers are cool. The suits are cool. I would much prefer if it was hand drawn for all the characters, and then when they got the suits on, because there's almost a weird thing where it's like they haven't maybe they explained it in episode 6, but it's almost like a 2-tier world thing going on. That when someone gets possessed, they almost become into like a sub world for a bit, where they can just smash up everything. Until, you know, when they save the person, they'll go back to the normal world. That's never been explained, has it, Nasuth?
Sort of in episode 6, yeah.
Okay,
I don't want to give anything away, but yes.
But again, because they had that 2-world thing, they could have easily done the CG in the suits or in that world and done normal animation for the thing, and it would be a better show.
Yeah.
I see it's quite downrated. I bet you it's because of the CG animation. I really don't think the Japanese people like, or maybe it's, I don't know, it's the global people, global voting on the Annie chart and things like that. I've noticed the CG shows get pushed down. They really do. And yeah, I enjoy the show. The show's fine. The characters are okay. They have interactions, and we're slowly developing those. But it's just there's nothing to really write home about. Is all. You got anything more, Nasuth?
It's pretty standard tokusatsu stuff for the most part. There's a bit, again, there is some stuff in episode 6 that sort of changes some of the perspective on things, but not in any. I think you're right that it's not going to be. You know, it's that whole shining power, I want to be a hero thing, and they're gonna work towards that, but it's not gonna be any like really deeper. But it's still leagues ahead of Megaton. Like, oh my goodness, all the motivations make sense.
Yes. Yeah, and it's got silly aliens and things going on the plot, but it doesn't go. You don't go, well, why? Yeah. And you know, I think we've explained it to Drew, and he hasn't had to go on. Hang on a minute. What about this? Hang on a minute. What about this? Explain that to me again. You know, unlike Megaton, which is just ridiculous.
I love the design of the suits. I really love the Oni that lives inside our main characters. He's so sassy. I love it. Perfect.
But do you agree with me? He did kind of switch. I don't mind it because it's get on with things.
As I remember correctly, it was the willpower of our main character.
He just says like, I'm gonna be a hero.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm not gonna let you do this. And his that's part of why he's been able to resist it the whole time, is just because his willpower. Well, okay, actually, again, in episode 6, they kind of hint that there may so in the first episode, I think it's the first episode.
I can understand there'd be more character because he's protagonist, and protagonists have a bit of backstory that could be linked to things, and he could have importance that will be seen. I can understand that. Here's the second team, and they get all cool black suits.
Yeah, their team black.
But I can appreciate
white,
that.
I think.
But again, that's just like main character, protagonist, general fare things. We're not going to get like
something happened to him at the original event. That may have given him, we don't know, may have given him some kind of power. Yeah.
But we're not going to get a bait and switch, just massive change. I don't know if you ever watched things like Darling in the Franxx or an Evangelion-esque switch and like, oh my god, the deeper meanings and things. It's just we kill bad dudes with our cool power suits.
But it's fun. It's good. It's good, clean, old-fashioned fun.
Yeah, unlike Megaton, which is just trying to sell a video game and too many concepts.
I feel like it's trying to sell both a video game and a toy line. Like when I tried to find images for it the first time around, it was all toys, just about.
So I think we should move on.
Cool. Right. Well, this is going to be extremely brief because I'm going to just basically talk about Demon Slayer. I'm basically waiting for the Mugen Train arc to finish. That's
what I was planning to do.
Yeah, I have been watching it, and it feels like they have changed the odd thing here and there. Like they've put more emphasis, more depth in certain parts of it. The animation is still top notch, much like
that shot there is beautiful.
Yeah, that's from the first episode. I think the majority of this is from the first episode. But because it's not new and exciting, because I've already watched the movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait for the Mugen Train arc to end, and I think. So I'm waiting for the Mugen Train arc to end and the first episode of the next arc to begin. Before I start. Now I know that the 5th episode, which is the most recent one, which aired earlier today, that is still part of the Mugen Train arc, but I know it's coming really close to the end because of the glimpse I saw at the start of that episode. So I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna move straight back to Nasuth for him.
So what you're saying is that I, who am fresh off the heels of season 1 of Demon Slayer, should have been watching this.
Yeah, you can easily watch this. You
Silly
can easily follow what's going on. Yeah,
season 3 though.
This is 2.
Yeah, there hasn't been a season 2. There was the movie.
Was season 1 like 25 episodes or something though?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. And it didn't actually have...
Right.
I was talking earlier about how some of the old shows that were that long had a lot of filler. It really didn't. It was pretty well packed all the way through.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Right.
Back to me then. I am going to pick... I'm going to save the best for last. I'm going to go with Mieroku-chan.
Oh god, it's a creepy thing, yeah.
It's the creepy thing. Where are my notes for this? I didn't scroll down. I just scrolled to them already. Cool.
There's.
Yes. Another really good opening sequence. It rates 7 out of Yamate.
Oh my god.
You were talking earlier about how that other show had a lot of fan service in it, and you weren't sure, whether it was the humor or the fan service that was the better part.
No. I like the humor of the other one. I'm just saying that there was plenty of fan service.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is essentially the same thing where it's horror comedy, but there is also quite a bit of fan service. Well, I mean, it's not super huge, but it's enough that you notice it now and then.
Is there such a thing as horror comedy? Because I'll be honest, I'm looking at some of this stuff, and if I watch this just as I'm going to sleep, I'm not going to sleep. I feel like the whole premise of there's something in the bed with me. That's just going to creep me the fuck out. And if any one of these fuckers looks like a spider, I'm done. I am fucking done. I am out. I'm checking out, throwing my bed out the window, and I'll never sleep again.
I don't know for sure if there's been a spider one, but there has been what looked like a giant bathtub or something. Very strange. There's probably a spider in there somewhere.
No, I'll never bathe again.
It feels like a lot of traditional, traditional Japanese ghost stuff. I don't know for sure because I'm not big up on my Japanese ghost stories. But there's tiny little guys that are tiny little old naked men that are interested only in shiny objects like coins and bottle caps. And there's monsters that eat other monsters to get better, to get stronger. In one of the recent episodes, we actually saw so her friend has like a godly aura that wards stuff off. And here you can see one of the monsters eating one of the other monsters. Isn't it beautiful? And then he looks so happy to be eaten. Right, so the godly aura, right, and there's Mieroku. Oh, sorry, Miko.
Sorry, I think I can hear the Attack on Titan theme playing.
Oh my god.
So Miko can see this huge scary demon following her around, and it's using her aura to cook smaller things to eat to get stronger. But it doesn't want to eat them raw; it wants to eat them cooked. So it's using her. It's so silly. And then they go to like a shrine and they get rid of it. But even that's kind of horrific in its own way. I've really been enjoying this. I don't know if it's gonna have anything deeper. I think they're moving towards something, but I don't know for sure.
Again, is there such a thing as comedy horror stuff?
Sure.
This just sounds like horror.
But it's the reaction. It's the fact that she has to stay deadpan. She can't react in these, and the way she comes, the ways she comes up with to be like, oh, how do I pretend like I didn't just see that thing? How do I convince these other people that nothing's wrong? Maybe you just have to have like really dark humor. I don't know.
See, my response would just be fake narcolepsy the whole time. Just fall asleep.
Oh my god!
That's just like, oh, you've got narcolepsy. Oh yeah, I just keep falling asleep. Don't know what it is. Oh, so tired, so tired.
Hold on. So
Oh yes, no, she gets a rival in one episode, and
what?
yes, because the rival can also see them, but she can't see all the really bad ones. She can only see some of them, and so Miko is trying to save her, and in the end, she's like, Miko tries to let her know, hey, I can see this stuff too, without actually outright saying it, and the girl misinterprets that to be, wow, she's so strong, she'd kill me if I said a word to anyone. It's that sort of level of what the fuckery.
Okay. I'm gonna give this a go. You're pretty much selling me on this.
Oh, you
right?
really have to.
But
First Spider Demon, you're out.
No, I need my blankie. If my blankie's not there to protect me, I'm no. But seriously though, like sometimes you just don't like. The number of times I have been lying in bed, looking at something like Instagram Reels or TikTok, and then there's one motherfucking reel or Instagram or TikTok video that's got a fucking spider that jumps at the fucking camera lens, and I'm like,
yeah,
right, well, I'm not sleeping for the next 2 hours. Anyway. Right,
sorry, just trying to look and see if there's a spider ghost in there anywhere.
I can see your screen, right?
I know you can. Here, I'll move it over here so you can. Oh, wait. That'll block the... Never mind.
Let's wait till after the show.
Yes,
right?
let's wait till after the show.
Okay, let's move on. Loz.
I think there's a VR chat effect where you can make a spider leap.
Stop it!
Oh.
Stop you!
What's my what I got left? Okay, so let's go AMAIM Warrior at the borderline.
That one, got it.
The reason why I'm saying it is because I think this is hand drawn or this is drawn, and it just shows in comparison. So we've got a mech show where it's all drawn. It's Bandai's Not Gundam show, and really enjoying it. It's done a decent arc for the main character who does just start off as a normal person. I remember that was our thing from the start. We didn't want him to be some super genius who could just pilot things.
Yeah.
He goes away and I was really annoyed at him at first. He just keeps going like, no, I can't kill people. Oh, I can't do this. And I think the show does a very good job of showing the implications of the scenario around him, because he was just a student really who didn't really go out much, didn't really see his world. And he keeps just trying to do the basic, I just want to do a good thing. Even when they lose a character and he just wants to return an item to their family and he can't, and then he sees the scenario that the person's friends who are really nice to him, everyone's really nice, and that if he now that he's been given the option to do something, if he doesn't do something about it, people are going to die, people are being mistreated, people are going to disappear. So he has to make a choice.
I think the key point about that one specifically is when she dies, he no longer wants to fight. He just wants to leave it all behind.
Yeah, he was even before then. He was kind of on the fence. He was not.
She was the one that convinced him to stay.
Yeah, or was beginning to. Yeah.
But then through like you said, through interacting with her friends and family, it gives him that motivation.
Yeah, the show's also doing a good job of setting up points going forward. We've got like this mystery mech here in the background, which I don't even know is someone piloting it or is it an AI-based thing. It's a bit of an antagonist for both our main characters and the several powers. My only complaint really of the show is, and I wish we bloody haven't again, why can't we just see bloody maps more often? Though I know we're in Japan, and Japan basically this is Code Geass Gundam basically, where Japan's been taken over by multiple factions and divvied up. It's very hard to kind of keep track of the different factions and know what they really own of Japan and what will change and shift if one takes control or anything. So that's my only issue. It does a good job focusing on the main character. I feel the main character's progression or evolution of the character, his arc, has been pretty good. We've had slowly establishing a side arc. In fact, again, we're 6 episodes in. His secondary person in a Not Gundam is fine, but we don't even know the name or anything about the third pilot, who's some girl.
We know that she tried to one meeting.
What do we know about her, Drew?
The whole pottery thing.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I wouldn't really say that's...
My granddad used to make pottery, and then the bad people came in and said, you can't make pottery here no more, and they blew
now
up
I'm going to get my revenge.
Now I'll get my revenge, and one day I'll bring back the pottery.
Yeah.
And the moment she shows up, she starts pulling her eyes out.
My happy died because... Actually, is he actually... No, he just... Did he die, or is he just stopped doing stuff?
I think he's depressed and not doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna cure my grandpappy's depression by kicking out America. Bring it back to pottery.
Yep. Overall, I really enjoyed the show. It's pretty. I don't know. It's pretty standard fare for things. It's not. I mean, compared to like the early days of Code Geass, which does feel like it's trying to be quite clever and they're doing cool things with the main character. This main character is not really anything special, but is becoming special through his own action and through his own efforts, which is good. Through his sense of justice and things. That's the thing. For instance, I can't name this character here. They keep doing this. They keep popping to the alternative factions, and like one of them's gained some mechs, and he's this dude. I think
he's from the US faction, isn't he?
I think he's
not a clue.
I'll let the American identify the American.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's like an American faction, a Russian faction, Chinese faction. I don't know. There's factions, and that's my only issue with it.
I know for sure there's the US, the Asians, which I think is just China essentially, and the Eurasians. Or no, the Oceanians. Right, Oceanians. I don't know if there's a fourth faction. I think there is, but I don't remember what they are.
Yeah, it's weird, and so that's my only issue with it. Is I really do not feel grounded with our adversaries. Like they could pull up in the next episode like a police car with them, or even their mechs. I don't know. I think I can work out which one the China mech is. I think it's got like a
those are the red ones. Yeah,
the red one.
But apart from that, I'm like, okay, and that's my only issue with it. Is it's sort of a good job focusing on the main character, but our world building of our adversaries who we're going to be doing stuff with, I'm still a bit lost with.
They do a really good job of grounding you with the little people. First it was the old couple, and then it was the friends and family of the woman that died, and then I guess maybe also kind of the people in the shelter, but not really. But you're right.
The girl who died as well, and the rebels, we got building on those, but
not really any of the military side of things.
No. I mean, it's showing us characters to represent the different factions, but I cannot name them, or I don't feel like, I hate that one and I like that one. They turn up. If they turned up on screen, I wouldn't be like, that's
the American one's probably had the most focus because he keeps following them around and trying to see what they're doing.
I've got to ask, can you actually tell the difference between the Americans and the Europeans?
I can't.
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't tell you.
And the Oceanians were like essentially the same. It looked like.
Yeah,
I think
one of them
pick up the Chinese ones because they have the red backs. They've been. I think they've been on screen the most. And done that work.
The red-haired guy, right? His faction has the proper humanoid style mechs, right? The other faction, the green faction, they have the sort of like more. Oh god, mech warrior mechs. No, they've got the flat tops, yeah?
Yeah.
They don't actually have like proper limbs or like a distinguished head or anything like that. So it's like, but I can't tell you who belongs to what faction.
Yeah, right? If they had flags or if we saw the uniforms more, I'd like and saw them. I think I could probably pick out the Chinese. What is the Chinese one? Which I think is because we have had an episode showing the. Yeah, and also showing those characters doing things like the corruption present within them. But we haven't had that for the other two factions as much. Yeah. And even then, I'm kind of vague on the Chinese one as well. And it's like, meh. So that's my only issue with the show. But I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to the end.
So I agree with absolutely everything Loz has said. Especially the whole the characters not getting properly developed and things. Like he's had excellent development, but God, I don't know who the bad guys are. But that that leads me to my only point that you didn't cover is I really want to understand how on earth Japan got in this position. It's barely touched upon at the start of the show that basically it was facing like economical turmoil, right? And then the other nations were supposed to bail it out, but instead they took over. And like, how did it get in this position? I just don't understand. Like, so basically, what did Japan have to sell off its military? The self-defense force. They like. Surely, if any country in the world is going to, lead a mech-based revolution, it's going to be Japan. Right? We all know this. It's going to be Japan.
Maybe they're the ones who built the mystery black one. Who knows?
But you get my point.
Yep.
So
But I enjoy it. I enjoy it, and I love the animation on it. It's nice, chunky robots.
Sorry. My only other point is I kind of don't like the mech designs. Like,
Really?
I don't like the heads.
That's a big part. I could also live without the legs, but it's mostly the head. Replace the head. Lord of God. Just replace
I could get by
the head
with the body and the
dumb.
rest. It's just the heads that they're just kind of
Bleh.
It's almost like they looked at it like, oh, we're making a Bandai, like, okay, we've got to make a new mech show, but we already have Gundam. No, we're going to try to do something different. Okay. So I have to draw this mech, and they're like, oh, but it looks too much like a Gundam. And then they went away again, and they came back and was like, it's too much like a Gundam. And then the artist probably went away. And I'm just making things look stupidly different to the stupid level. It's like, there you go. It's like, yep, there you go. It's like, it just looks stupid. I don't, it's the heads. I could live with the rest. The bodies and things would be weird and whatever, but the heads are just, and it's mainly on the main mechs, just our hero mechs. It's just,
I even called it
Right.
not Gundam in my notes because that's kind of
All
what
right,
it feels
I'm
like.
gonna move on. I'm gonna take over. I'm doing Blue Period. There we go. So
oh, is this the artist thing?
this is the artist one,
Okay.
right? Okay. If
You have to
Joey
show it
did
to me 'cause I'm like, ah,
right, okay.
Is it good?
I love it. Right.
Okay.
In all honesty, I think this is one of the best anime of the season. Right, for me personally. Yeah, honestly, I am really impressed. The quality of animation, while it appears more rustic in place, like it feels like they're downscaling the imagery and things. It's still really watchable. I really enjoy it. There are more what.
I know what that is on the far left.
Yeah. Okay.
I've
So
seen the character does
okay.
that.
So again, there are other shows like Megalobox, which they actually animate the whole thing at 420p, and then they upscaled it to 1080p, and to make it more of a rustic anime art style from the 90s, right? The early 90s or mid 90s. This feels similar. Like it feels like they're they're animating at a lower resolution and then upscaling it to make it again more rustic. Or maybe it was the most recent episode I saw. I also feel that the journey of the main protagonist feels relatable. Even though I know next to nothing about art, neither does this kid, right? So he's like, but I am copying thing in front of me. Why so complicated? I do not understand. I'm like, dude, I ain't got a fucking clue either. And then he learns the importance of different artistic methods, like different media and things like that. And he shows it. He showed this one piece that he did with charcoal, and I was just like, fuck. Even I appreciate that. That looks stunning, right? And it feels like I am learning how to appreciate art by watching this anime. I'm not quite sure if Loz has died inside.
Still died inside.
I mean, anime
Cool,
already
right.
is art, so you're already
it too
appreciating
will
art.
teach me to appreciate art, but I'm just like art. Smelly
The
art.
other side, the other side of this, the other side of the show is it has a really close examination of the Japanese education system with how important exams are, like how stressful, being a teenager is just because of the importance of getting into university and things like that.
Yeah.
And that I thought was, again, like, you see characters having mental breakdowns. You see characters flat out giving up. Some resent others for being better than them. Some resent others for feeling like they're in the shadows of other artists. I was like, a lot of these people have a persecution complex where they think that others think low of them. But when they are shown that, no, I actually think quite highly of your work, again, it really, like, rings home to how people can act in real life. So I genuinely really enjoy this show. Just kind of wish Netflix would let me know when the damn thing's out.
Yeah.
But at least it doesn't have subtitles everywhere.
Right, but I
need
have to check something with you.
Go on. Are you
Is it
gonna?
better than Komi?
Oh, the dilemma. Ooh.
This Honestly, this is a dilemma, right? Like, it's close. I'd say Komi is still in the lead, but honestly, it's goddamn close, right?
Someone's not getting links next week.
Oh, I fell into a trap. Right, should we move on to... unless you have any other questions.
No.
No?
I think something. I'll wait to the end, see what you say about it. I think I will be interested in watching this, but yeah.
I'm down to give it a try. I mean, if it's the
but
best
at the
this
moment,
season,
I just hear the premise, and I
mean, like, this sort of stuff is not for everyone.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I know, yeah.
So, I mean, it just speaks to me.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike most art, where I'm just like, that's a nice doodle.
No, we must all like the same thing, right? All right?
No, shut up.
I'm not going to sound really stupid here, because I am, because literally every single thing I enjoy, like even video games, requires concept artists to produce amazing piece of work, and you just see what people fan make on these things. But I think maybe it's from the school point of view. I just despise art at school because it just because maybe that's why, because they're not, maybe I see them and not able to produce the things that I would say, wow, that's amazing, or be free, and they have to most of the time produce just generic art pieces. And I think, well, what is that really preparing you for the future, producing these generic art pieces, even though I know there is so many jobs that require artists? I just hate the way it's done at schools.
Oh yeah, no, I'm completely on board with you, but they don't do this in schools. This is cram school. This is like art school. This is yeah, because effectively the art teacher is like a lovable art teacher. I had one of those at my school. The rest of them were absolute arseholes. And she basically turns to him and says, like, you should go to this private cram school. And that's where the majority of the series is actually focused. So they're not at he basically learns like as much as he can while at school, but barely any of it's there. Like, he does go back and things, and he does go and do his own, like, he's still friends with his schoolmates and things like this, or the people in the art club, but yeah, it's barely any of it's in the school.
Wow. Interesting. Right, let's move on.
Nasuth?
It's time for my favorite of the season so far.
And your last one.
Garanndoll.
I still haven't seen this. You both think it's good?
It's so funny. Everything about it has been good so far.
How much mech do we get?
Good amount.
A decent amount.
I'm going to help him out. Good amount.
Okay, cool. Right, lay it on me then. Come on.
So since we last left our hero, the main character is Hosimichi-kun, or Hosimichi, sorry, but more affectionately and probably properly called Playboy-kun, because that was his job before he came over to the side of resistance in this strange world where anime has been outlawed. So he has to work with, well, only two so far. There's still going to be a third one, I think. So this is another case where they're still introducing characters this far into the show, but the way they're doing it is fine. I like the build up of him having to spend a little while with each one, because part of the point of his working with these girls is that he has to fire them up in the way that they want to be, their particular branch of fandom. So with the first girl, with Rin, she's a cosplayer who is really into this old anime called Zabern. Is it an anime or is it a toku? Either way, doesn't really matter.
Nisatsu.
So he has to meet her on that level. He has to, even there's a point wherein he screws everything up and she doesn't have the will to fight, and so he has to get into her mindset and break through to her, and not just get into her mindset, but change his mindset from I'm just doing this because I have to I really want her to do this.
It's very Gurren Lagann in that respect.
Yes, yeah. It's all about the will and the shining power. And then they introduce our second girl, who is Yuki. It's already better than some of these other shows because I can actually remember their names. And she wants to be an idol, but she's doing it for the wrong reasons. Or it's either she's doing it for the wrong reasons or her perception of what other people expect are off. Either way, when she gets in and tries to power the the robot, the what are they called?
The Garanndoll.
Garanndoll. Yes, of course, it's right in the title. Just turns into a giant rabbit that can't do anything. It can't fight, can't move, can't do anything, and completely devastates her. And once again, what? Who?
It's ugly.
It is.
She
ugly.
hates the fact that it's ugly.
Yeah, it's super ugly. And nobody reacts to it properly or in any way, so she just falls apart. But once again, our hero has to actually like get into her mindset, figure out what would inspire her. Does so. I'm not going to give away any spoilers in that regard, but he does so, and they win the day in absolutely spectacular fashion. I think so far this has been an absolute blast. I really love that they managed to have, you know, that sort of triumphant moment, but it's all very tongue-in-cheek and silly and just, oh, it's so good. The hierarchy of our resistance crew is amazed. Like the general and the leader are crazy. It's everything you want from this sort of comedy mecha anime.
Sounds great.
Well, the animation's amazing too.
So I've got some things that I wish to add in.
Sure.
So just to check, it looks like we've got CG for our mechs, but drawn for the people. Yeah.
Yes, everything else is drawn. It's just the mechs.
Yeah.
Right. So I completely agree with Nasuth that this show is criminally underrated.
Oh my god.
And I don't know if you remember in my 3-episode rule, I was confused to whether or not it was trying to be serious or slapstick. But after episode 3, it really does come across as, yep, no, this is 100% slapstick. It's just the enemy are more stupid and silly and zany. All right. The show really stresses the importance of being true to yourself, and though I feel it's a great concept for your inner weeb, because again we've had that with Fruit of Evolution, it would be nice if it got to these life lessons in less than 2 episodes.
I guess.
It's like, yeah, I mean, you know, you credited it for it, but my personal opinion is like, fucking hell, get on with it. Right?
What, Rumble?
Rumble, yes. Yeah, because it's just like, yeah, okay, I get it. You don't like the design of the mech, but now we have to spend yet another episode resolving your hang-ups.
It wasn't just that she doesn't like the design of the mech. It's that the way people reacted to what she thought would make them happy. She was trying to do it for them rather than for herself.
Yes. As it stands, we've had 5 episodes, and we know from the intro that there's at least one more character, which means that we are likely to spend another 2 episodes getting to know them. In all honesty, I want them to desperately want them to pull an Asuka Langley Saw You, right? Where effectively, no, this is an established, already trained up character. They know how to fight. They know how to be a battery for the Garanndoll. We don't have to waste any time going over their hang-ups. But you know it's going to happen. In all honesty, if people have started this show only to give up, I wouldn't blame them. But I've thrown in my towel almost because I'm so starved for mecha content. So I'm planning on pushing through with this one. It may be a case of by the end of this, the 12 episodes or 13 episodes, it really redeems itself. But for the love of God, can we please stop characters?
You can watch Megaton.
No. I like the way it gives the characters room to really show who they are, but I get why you wanted it to go faster. Yeah,
like you could really skip the whole setup. Like nearly the first part of the 2-part episodes can be skipped out entirely. You know, just show them having a mental breakdown. Just do a quick 5-second recap of why they're having a mental break. Oh yeah, Fudge Nugget took off his glasses and he can't read for shit and he insulted them. There you go. That's like 5 seconds of bloody, and then you just get on and fix the situation. Yeah, you fucked up. Get on with it. But that's the Anyway, cool. But regardless, I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah, just so many silly moments. It's great.
Loz.
Do you believe my last one is another excuse for Xenos to say he's not starved of max action? Is 86, which is, I think we've had 6 episodes.
Nope.
No. Okay. You sure?
Wait. Shit, I can't remember.
I think we have had 6 episodes, but it was one of the earliest ones to be released. So,
how many episodes did we get in the first part?
12?
Then no, we haven't.
Yeah, we have. Episode 7 is released in 5 days, 14 hours. So we've had 6 episodes.
Okay.
It's really cool. So, whatever, but I don't care about spoilers or whatever. I'm just going to go for it. Don't care about spoiler button this time. It's focusing primarily on our main team of 86 people who have found another kingdom to live in and their interactions there. It's building up good, long-reaching stuff still. We don't have to introduce any characters. I would say it is a little bit slow at times. We get some good stuff going on. Like the first 2 episodes, like this here, we get stuff like this, which is a memorial to their fallen comrades from season 1. And that was cool stuff and setup. They've now got better mechs, which are made by the New Kingdom, and they've been fighting an offensive from the Legion, which is the AI robots that are coming to kill them. My only issue, in fact, I will actually now. I'll put the spoiler tag on. I'm actually going to ask for it. Right. So in season 2, as I said, we focus primarily on our 86 people in the new kingdom they found. And this new kingdom seems to be more collaborative than the Not Germany that we were in season 1. However, we've learned that Not Germany's super wall that they were using to keep the Legion out has been attacked by a railgun and it's collapsed. And the AI Legion are now directly attacking Not Germany. And they seem to be not doing a great job. And our friend, this is my issue here because we don't. This is why I'm annoyed that we also haven't got an episode this week. I'm sure Zeno is the same. But I'm jumping at the bit to find out what happens here. Because we spend a lot of time with the 86 in our 6 episodes. And then in I think episode 5 and 6, we see a small amount of what's going on in Not Germany. But you want more. You want to know more. You're like, oh my god, show me more, show me more. What's going on? I need to know what's happening. Oh my god, what's happening? So you see that the Major is now taking control of all of the 86 in Not Germany. I think she's using an illegally modified mental control thing. What they call Pararaid? I think it's called Pararaid.
It's not a mental control. It's like just a communication device, but it's like telepathy kind of thing.
Yeah, she links to all of the defenses on that thing because the Not Germans were being stupid and believing that once the timer expires, all the Legion will shut down. And so she was the only one who's like, no, that's not what's going to happen. And she knew that it was going to go bad. So it gets this weird scene where her uncle or some relative who's a higher up to her, says, I've talked this over with Zeno. We sat down and tried to understand the conversation where he's almost like, the 86 who we've been mistreating will never help us because we've been mistreating them. So we should all just give up. And she's like, no, I won't give up. I will fight. And he's like, you're going to have that spirit beaten out of you or something, but don't worry, I'll fight. And he goes off with a rifle or something. I'm just like, what is going on? So that part of the show is kind of rushed. And in the last episode, I think we had a couple of shots of areas of Not Germany we'd seen before, and it was all crushed mechs, abandoned,
utterly destroyed.
Even to see the sort of the bedroom of the Major, who was a common area she would talk to people from using her Pararaid. And it was just abandoned or bits smashed and everything. It's clearly, right, this is a battle. So there's our Major on screen with her weird red hair. And
she's a captain now.
It's a terrible cliffhanger to sit on because it doesn't, unlike the 86 side of things, which we get loads of, we've gotten this sprinkling of bits of this Not Germany side of things, and it's just really frustrating. And I want to see what's happening. I want to know what's happening. And I'm desperate to see more, which is not a bad thing in some ways, but annoying because we've had to miss a week. There we go. Anything you want to add, Zena?
I'm a little worried that they may end up dropping the ball in terms of the narrative. Thus far, I'm properly invested in this one.
Yes, I'm not even going to discuss that because, of course, I am.
you know, and I do have this concern that they might fluff the ending, or I would be happier with an open-ended, oh yeah, season 2. But yeah, I am a little concerned that they could fluff the ending, but I'm happy thus far.
Well, I can guarantee you for sure we will not resolve the rest of the manga. There will definitely be a lot more manga from them.
Yeah, well, look what happened to Promised Neverland.
They're bad.
Second season.
Promised Neverland? I've never seen Promised Neverland. Do you mean if you're gonna? For me, it would either be No Game No Life or Dead Man Wonderland would be the ones that tease to me.
No. In Promised Neverland, they skipped to the end of the manga. They skipped like 100 chapters just to get to the end. Yeah, no, seriously. Oh. It was like they did like the first few chapters after the first season, and then they skipped 100 chapters to go straight to the end, right? And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? So that is always
Komi, yeah.
But that's the sort of faux pas.
I don't think the manga's finished though in this, so I don't think they could do that.
Right. The other side of this is
I off the table, by the way.
Yep. I also wonder in terms of the light novels, because I think this is a light novel before it's a manga, isn't it? Because they've only got 2 volumes of the manga. So probably, in terms of the light novels, how much the narrative actually focuses on the major, because we've had so little to do with her in the second part of the series. I'm feeling that the only reason that she's around at all is because how much I'd assume the community liked her in the first part of the season. No. And if that's the case, no? She's definitely in the light novels and stuff.
There's more plot, yeah.
Okay, fine. There's as long as you're sure of that, then
well, okay.
That
actually, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. I know that. Okay, I read ahead on the general principles of what's going to happen. I don't know if any characters are going to live or die. Actually, so I don't know. Maybe I do. Okay. I just know generally what's going to happen on like a country level.
It's more a case of like, because we were spending so much time with, as we've dubbed them, not Russia, where the 86 currently are, or our 86 currently are. I just realized the spoilers tag is still on.
I was going to ask if you wanted.
Okay, fine. No, that's fine. On. Okay, he still wants it on. But the big side of it is that I'm wondering if they're pulling an Arya Stark in terms of Game of Thrones, because in season 4 of Game of Thrones, in terms of the book, Arya Stark was at the start of the book and then the end of the book, right? There was no Arya Stark throughout the middle of the book in the slightest, right? But in the series, because people liked Arya Stark, they constantly sprinkled her in. I know this, this is a reference I constantly reference, but I'm wondering, in terms of the major, have they done something similar? Because the fans liked the major, they've sprinkled her in periodically.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's more that they want to set up that narrative, but we've been away from it, focusing on the not Russia thing for so long. They want to set the setting of what's going on there, but only briefly. They don't want us to get comfortable there, which is annoying, because I want to understand what's going on there, but they just want to like, oh, by the way, this is going on. It's like, no, tell me more. No. Yeah.
Yep.
Right, that's it though. Of course I'm gonna do it at the end, so there's nothing more to say. We'll see how it ends. Yeah. If you haven't started this Nasuth, I would definitely say it's worth watching.
Yeah, it's one of those that I really need to catch up on.
Cool. And then we've got my last one, which is Jobless Reincarnation. So Loz took on Jobless Reincarnation.
Oh, why are we doing this? Why did you say this at the end? It's Nasuth's got any more to do.
No, this is the last one.
Oh my god. Okay, so this.
Have you watched today's episode? Because I haven't.
I haven't. No,
right, okay.
No, we haven't watched today's episode. No, all I'm going to say is, so one thing actually I wanted from, is it SAKUGAN?
Are you going to steal my thunder?
Oh, well, okay, fine, you go for it. It's like you just dropped this on me at this point of the recording. I'm like, oh god. Man.
Right, okay. This honestly is another one of, like, another contender for top anime of autumn 2021. Honestly, I freaking love this show. It is incredible. I'm not going to go into massive amounts of detail of what's happened throughout the thing. I kind of hinted at stuff. It is definitely one everyone should look up. But one of the key things I really want to talk about is the internal monologue, right? The internal monologue in this show is done so well. So actually, a few shows have effectively done functioning internal monologue well. Most shows where a character's been isekai'd, it's basically they talk about like contradicting things, like, oh yes, of course, I knew what you were planning all along. Oh no, I didn't know at all. Jesus Christ, was it so crazy? Or, if I combine these 3 sticks together and some rocks, I can make a stone pickaxe. Then proceeds to do that very thing, right? That's often what happens in a lot of shows where you have an internal monologue of either the main character's original voice or their new voice. And it's kind of meh, right? It's like, why are you even doing this? It doesn't add anything to the situation. Rudy, on the other hand, our main protagonist in this situation, not only does he retain his original voice, which is great, but everything in the internal monologue is what he just wouldn't say in polite society. What he is thinking to himself that, oh, she's got a nice ass, right? You wouldn't say that out loud, but he is thinking that. And that's the sort of narrative that is happening inside the internal monologues. It's nothing that is just so blatantly obvious it doesn't add anything. It is just character defining, if anything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't really tell from like the picture size if you're I'm confused by what you're saying, or I agree.
No, I'm completely with you. Yeah, the way it does the intermonologue. The interesting thing compared to other isekais, and isekais have to do things to stand out, is that most isekais, I suppose the closest you get to this is when they make a salaryman into a child character. Most of the time it's a teenage kid in a school who becomes a teenager elsewhere, whereas he's like 46, I think. Yeah.
He's older than his own father.
Yeah, he's older than his own father in this. And so he is, he didn't have a great life, but obviously, he's thought about a lot of stuff, if that makes sense. His thought process is a lot older, a lot more mature inside, and obviously he doesn't always realize that, but sometimes he does, and it's his perspective is interesting because of it.
Yeah.
That's actually
the other point I've got here is I won't go into too much detail because honestly I want everyone to watch the show. I don't want people to just like, oh my god, I can't believe you just spoiled that for me. But one of the events in this season escalates a situation between Rudy and one of his relatives.
Why can't we just press the spoiler button?
No, I don't want to. I want people to watch it. Right? But the point is, no. Well, you didn't install it, did you? So you can't push it, right? And they actually follow through. The whole next episode, they are talking about their feelings, which is typically unheard of in most TV, right?
Basically, we spend 2 episodes on something, and it's good.
It's really good. It is so well executed, right? It's not like, Loz comes up and slaps me, and then I get like in a big strop, and then I'm complaining for 20 minutes, and then we go to the pub. Which is more often than not what typically happens in most TV shows, just TV shows anywhere. It's like,
and then the point end after the pub, the credits roll, and by the way, the person off screen pushes the reset button, and thus we're back to wherever we were before we had the whole argument. Anyway, we didn't grow or gain from the events. We're just back to the status quo.
Yeah, so honestly, when these like. Loz and I, like, you called me. You ranted hard, right?
I called you, but
You did.
No, I did.
Yeah.
I sent you a message on Discord as like you'd seen it, and it was later in the week. You were like, yeah, I saw it ages ago. I'm like, well, I'm a bit behind. I'm watching it now.
Yeah.
Mad, wine, rage.
Yeah. And like, everything Loz
More.
more volume. Everything Loz was saying was true to the situation. So he had just watched the first part of the episode of the two-parter, and we both watched the second part, and we're like, God damn, this show, so good.
Yeah, making me care about talking about feelings.
How dare
This
you?
is my isekai. I should be shooting magic spells at things and fighting dragons and figuring out mysteries and like rescuing damsels and saving people and like going on adventures. It's like we're gonna have 2 episodes about feelings. And you're gonna love it. And you're like,
Yeah,
how did you trick me, show?
At least
How
it's
did
not
you
talking
trick me
gazebos.
so well?
Honestly, it's so.
Yes.
That's pretty much all I'm gonna say. Loz, feel free to add anything else in, but for the love of God, go watch this show.
Oh yeah. Okay, fine. We'll wait till the Nasuth.
That's put it away.
Later.
It's so good. I wanted to go into why and name specifics, but if we'll wait to the end of the season and do it then, because I do want to say it, because it's also really rare, this kind of stuff, in this day and age. I think it's, okay, I won't say that because it's
So you can appreciate it. Like, I just want everyone to experience it for themselves.
You at all enjoy fantasy, isekais, anime, generally anime, lovely art, great animation style as well, by the way, beautifully done. It never. I don't think it even ever has an intro. It just literally just plays some cool music. And get some cool, beautiful cinematic shots.
And you get a logo, and that's like the logo kind of burns in.
Yeah. You get like 10 seconds out. It's like, I want to save my 1 minute 20 seconds to have you talk about feelings some more, and you're gonna love it.
Insanity. An anime show that has an opening that short.
It just doesn't have an intro. We do not have an intro. It just goes title. And by the way, while that title's on, it'll probably show some like beautiful background or something. You're like, oh wow, that's really cool.
It's
mind blown.
This might be blasphemy for Loz. This is my favorite season. You want to deny me? You want to deny me, but you can't, can you?
I can.
Top 10 anime betrayals.
You're not getting any links this week or next week.
Oh, come on!
You can wait for your terrible Netflix translations. That's what you can wait for.
Damn it! Only if I actually leveled up my Googling skill. Right. Yep. Cool. So I think
the lesson here is that no matter what genre of anime you're looking for, there is a lot of good stuff this season.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yep. Right, let's round it up though, and don't
tempt fate by angering the Komi gods. So cool. Right, should we? I
want to make so we can point and remember next time, because obviously some of these episodes like this one's running quite long. We should point out how there's timestamps at the start so people can go what they want to see. So
that's true.
Episode. We should point that out more. We will always timestamp it for people. So
yeah.
Anyway, let's round off with our general stuff, our ending up stuff. Good stuff this season.
I do have a question for both of you regarding this season.
Yeah.
I think it was something in the 3 episode roundup. One of the commenters asked us when we got to this point, like, what was something that you saw in the trailer before the season launched? That, like, what trailers were you excited? What shows were you excited for when you watched the trailer that you're no longer enjoying or that didn't live up to the hype? And what shows were you worried about that are over exceeding your expectations?
Deep Insanity was definitely. I thought that was going to be so much better than it actually turned out to be.
Same.
And exceeding expectations. Komi's by far as. Yeah, honestly, it's blowing expectations out. Because the problem is, I've already been exposed to 86 and Jobless Reincarnation, so there's actually a pretty high bar there. So, but Komi, I was just like, are they just going to do another Jahi?
Yes, you did say that from the start, actually. About it, For me, it would be Tesla Note and Megaton. Tesla Note had some cool stuff with like things flying everywhere, and I'm just like, this is just, it's just ridiculous. And Megaton, because you saw things like, oh my god, there's a hole in the middle of the planet and there's a giant eyeball. It's like, wow, what's going on here? My expectations were, when I say I was interested, I saw about the game stuff, so it wasn't high. and it still underperformed from my low expectations.
Because there was so much
it.
potential there, and they just
Yeah, I didn't have high expectations, but I had a bit of interest, and they just collapsed on all of it. It's just like, as for stuff that was good, I from trailers I can't really think. Maybe it's hard to say because I was going to watch it, but the assassin one, but and Komi I guess but that's only because I've read the manga like 5 times through, and I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
Again.
So for me, Megaton and Deep Insanity are tied for just absolute garbage that I thought would be good, or at least decent. SAKUGAN I thought would be amazing. It's a little under what I thought it would be, but it's not terrible. And for something that I thought would be terrible, well, something that I was worried about, but ended up pleasantly surprising me is Shikizakura. Because I thought that was going to be kind of rough and actually really fun. So there you go. Whoever that was, I've forgotten who. I didn't go back and look.
Cool. That may have been Zrugel. I'm not entirely sure. Right.
Sounds like a Zrugel thing.
Okay, so let's move on to the supporter question. So Zrugel says, "Oh right, before we start the supporter questions, I'm going to ask everyone to make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like the video, and share it if you can. It really helps." Followed by 6 hyphens, and then our first question is from Zrugel, who asks, "I heard somewhere that sarcasm is very much a cultural thing that most Japanese people don't really get. Can you think of an anime where characters are sarcastic?"
Ooh.
I remember it happening comparatively recently. I think it was within this last year. And I was like, wait, that's sarcasm. And I was kind of surprised. But I can't for love of money remember what. I think it was like a modern day based show. I just can't remember what the fuck it was.
I guess because I've never really thought of that as... Oh.
It was Remake Our Lives. That was it. I was like, when it happened, because it was the school setting things, and I was just like, wow, I'd never heard sarcasm in... I'm pretty sure it was in Remake Our Lives. Loz is like, no, it wasn't. I'm like, I have no idea.
Deeply trying to remember.
I'm just having a stroke.
No, I can't think of any.
I guess because I've never really thought of that as being something that the Japanese wasn't really part of the Japanese culture. I may have just completely glossed over it because I'm so used to seeing sarcasm.
Fair.
It's entirely possible that there's been one and I've just...
Moving on, Drunk Arbiter. Oldest anime recommendation.
Ooh.
Oldest?
Yeah. I'm going to start this with Pat Labor.
Yeah.
Pat Labor's so good. I'm talking about the TV series. It's so good.
I can't really think of by age. No, I can't give anything on that.
I'd say for really, really good stuff, probably either Trigun or if you're into a little more shoujo, Utena.
Trigun it is. So Thaylien says Manzai-style comedy featuring a duo of comedians where one is the straight man, the Tsukomi, and the other is the funny man, the bokeh, is a key feature in of many anime comedy routines. A Western example of this would be Abbott and Costello. If Loz and Xeno were to do this, it's obvious who would play which role. But who would take up the role if Loz or Xeno were to team up with Nasuth for a Manzai routine? That's a really odd question.
I feel like I'm the most straight of the straight man.
Who out of, like, if it was you and Nasuth, who would be the straight man and who would be the funny man?
don't know. I think personally, Loz is really funny, but
Lies. I do
lies.
not know what to speak. I don't know. Yeah, I could play. I don't know. I'd probably play either.
Oh, okay. I would think that Loz would be the straight man and Nasuth would be the funny man.
Okay,
There you go.
That's my opinion. And then if it was me and Nasuth, who would play what role?
Oh, you're definitely the funny man. 100%.
Yeah.
I can't take anything seriously. On the last episode of Xeno reading supporter questions solely enough that I can get away with stupid jokes, the Kanpai Cast were discussing a bridge series. Which of this autumn season's new series do you think will get made into an abridged series first? Or which would be the easiest to make?
Deep insanity, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Roll credits.
But would it be the first one?
Well, it'd be the easiest to make, so, I mean, you could crank that out in a couple hours.
Isekais do really well, so I think Jobless Reincarnation would do one. I think you could somehow do one with 86, which would just be... Yeah, if you come up with a ridiculous reason of what's going on with the Legion AI, I think that could also work well.
There's 95. I would say Faraway Paladin, because there's so much just standing around and talking. You could do fucking anything with it. Right. Okay, so that's it from the supporter questions. We weren't many comments from last week's episode, but there was one thing that Zrugel pointed out. I didn't much like the Goblin Slayer Abridged because I respected the main character a lot, but I thought making a parody of him was disrespectful. What are your thoughts on that, Loz?
Seeing as in... Have you watched the last episode of Goblin Slayer Abridged yet?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Seeing as they actually keep the deeper parts of his character with the trauma and things is still there and has affected him, I do agree it's a different way of looking at it. And yeah, maybe if you watch the first few episodes, it is just a complete piss take of the character. But the core of the character, I think, is still in there. It's just played for laughs and jokes. I think that's because he is such a strong character who should be respected for like everything he's gone through and what he's doing. That's what makes the parody work. Maybe it's... I mean, I think it's absolutely hilarious, but maybe that's a British thing because we do like to tear things down a lot, especially in our humour. We're very self-deprecating.
I agree with that last point. I never really thought about it.
It's a very thing. Well, not anymore because we're not allowed to be anymore.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point, is that you got to tear something. We always like tearing things down. We tear everything down. That's what we like to used to do. Yeah, it's about.
I mean, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love
I love the original
Goblin Slayer series.
Yeah.
I've read the manga, right? I've I actually like the fact that they jokingly point out that the events of was it
Rivertown?
No. It wasn't the events of Rivertown. That was hilarious. No, I'm pretty sure. So basically, the events of the farm happen before Rivertown. And I think they point that out in the last episode of the Abridged. They either say it like as a post-credits thing, saying like, we are huge fans of this. Go check out the official release. Go check out the manga on like Bookwalker or something, because that actually has the things in the correct order and the additional chapter that the first season never had. But yeah, no, I absolutely love it. I think it's brilliant, and I love the direction that they took the the Abridged in, like where it's like, no, you don't want to fight goblins. Like, was it Trash Team? Trash Team was... Do you remember Trash Team? Was it Boot Patrol?
Boot Patrol.
Okay, Poop Patrol.
I'm looking at you, Poop Patrol.
Yeah, where they go through the sewers all the time. Yeah. So again, I absolutely loved it, and I love that last episode. That last episode was really well put together.
Yeah.
Put together.
I was really impressed by it, especially considering it was longer than the majority of the original series. So
I think if you actually took the footage, if you took the footage, that use of footage in the actual show, I think they took it all and then used it and stretched it and did little things with it for longer than you actually have that in the show. And because it's loads of little bits chopped out from different episodes put together, it tells it in a completely different way.
Yeah, it really, really worked. They did an excellent job on it.
Such a good job.
As someone who has yet to watch Goblin Slayer, I'm still a firm believer in making fun of the things you love at least as much as the things you hate. So I think it's fine to do that to a character that you love, as long as you're doing it with love and not, just to be an asshole. You gotta actually love the character.
Yeah.
Except for Sword Art Online. So let's move on. Right. So we're gonna move on to the memes. We're gonna do the first meme. Are you ready? Everyone's ready. I'm gonna hit that button.
So ready.
Something that we have not done something. However, I will now press that button, and it will probably do something else. It did, but it kind of screwed up. So I'm gonna hit that button again, and then
there we go.
I'm gonna have to work that one out. There we go. So this is Nasuth's first. Oh my lord! This is Nasuth's first meme.
Ecchi scenes, horror scenes. Why do you watch Mieroku-chan?
Oh my fucking lord!
Maruko.
Okay.
I always say Mieroku. It's Maruko.
This could only be improved if it then pushed both buttons. Which is the meme of that.
Yeah. Yep. Moving on to Nasuth's second meme.
Non-native English speakers learning English for 7 years. Weebs after learning 3 fancy Japanese words. So true. Nani?
Why is there a 6-digit number there?
I don't know. You probably don't want to know. Don't Google
that. I'm not gonna know.
Don't Google that.
Oh.
Don't. Let's not. I
didn't even notice that was there, but yes, that's
how.
It's probably
right,
a
let's move on.
meme.
This is Nasuth's third community shout out.
Me trying to sleep. My arms, my eyes, my legs, my back, a brain.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally relatable. I did that last night myself.
Right. Yeah, no, I get that. Crap, what time did we go to bed last? I can't remember. Right, so episode number 1. Fuck. At least I got it right. Meme number 1. When it's a weekend and there's no new 86 episode. It was always about this time of day, wasn't it?
I saw this while I was scrolling through to get mine. Oh god.
Yep. I had to put it in because literally this, it's just...
It's perfect.
Yep,
no, it's perfect.
It's there. So,
but Nasuth doesn't even understand the context of why he's saying that.
No, but it doesn't. I don't have to. It's.
I guess they're expecting something at that time, and
it's like that one from oh god, is it Attack on Titan where it's like, sorry, that was a strange thing to ask. Is that Attack on Titan? I don't know, honestly. No.
I don't know.
Next,
right, my second one. I did hit one. There we go. Hentai, the world. Japanese porn industry, Japanese anime industry. They're pointing at each other.
Oh Christ!
I think Loz likes this. He's been obscured by.
No, it's good.
Right. And then, God, I hope this gets the same reaction. My third choice, U.S. citizen, circa 2077. I don't need to explain shit. I have a gun for a head.
I almost picked this. It's so good. Fuck you. It's so true.
Oh, if anyone has not seen this, it's No Guns Life. I think it's the first 2 seasons are out of anime, and it's worth watching.
Oh god!
But yeah, sorry.
I don't need to explain shit.
I had to. I had to. It
That's
just had to
beautiful.
be done.
Staring into the crystal ball can sometimes what stares back at you is just terrifying.
Right. And then, right, the last part of this show, which we have failed to do for the last several episodes. No, not that yet. Not that. Is what we're doing next week.
Oh, what are we doing next week? I actually don't know
Right.
either.
So next week, the topic is intro into anime, and we have a special guest of Hydroxate.
Ooh, I love that guy.
Cool. Right. Now it's that thing. So it's Nasuth, it's your outro.
Oh no! How am I gonna signal? Kanpai!
Bye.
Hey!
Bye.